I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mid Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
It's a group of people that come together to learn about and to provide input on things happening in our community. So our next upcoming time that we're together, we're talking about law enforcement. We're going to have our prosecutor and our sheriff and our police chief talking about what they're doing and then getting input from the group. So that's a wonderful way for people to come and learn and share their ideas. We've also partnered with the Midland Business Alliance on the My Pros Community Crowd Fund, which started, goodness now, I think it's been probably 4 years ago.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mid. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mid.
If you served, we want you to get the health care and benefits you earned. We want you to come to VA.
There's never been a better time to apply. Under a new law called the PACT Act, we've expanded VA care and benefits to millions of people who served and their survivors.
No matter where you served or how long you served, check out va.gov/PACT to learn more about what VA can do for you and your family.
Come to VA.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Well, howdy. Let's start things out with the question today. Kyle, I'm going to ask you. How about them Tigers? Woo! Detroit Tigers, stand up. Wow. Moving on to the ALDS. I doubted them. Kyle doubted them. All of us doubted them, and that's totally fine. They're moving on after burying the demon, taking the Guardians, putting them in their grave, and burying dirt on top of them yesterday. The offense finally wakes up. It's the first time since September 10th that this team has scored 5+ runs in a game. They score 6, and that's good enough to move on to the ALDS, advance in the wild card. What a game from the Tigers. I can't believe this offense finally awoke yesterday in the 7th inning. Before we get into that, welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. Ben Bosscher here with the hand up if you're watching live on YouTube. Kyle Sandel behind the glass right now. Apologize for the glare behind us. We're in the works of getting a new studio.
My hand's also up now, too.
Thank you, Kyle. Apologize for the glare if you're watching on YouTube. We're hopefully under a month away from having a nice little
kind of
backdrop
weird. We had this
news
issue the
studio.
other day when the Tigers won. We have the issue today. It's almost like a sign.
Sun comes up when the Tigers are winning and that Cleveland team's dead in their grave. It would have been a crime to baseball for that Cleveland team to move on and have to be in the ALDS, and you have to watch them again. I'm not trying to claim that the Tigers are this world-beating team like we saw in the first half, but yesterday they did show some flashes of it, and that 7th inning, that's an inning that I think I personally am going to remember here for a long time as maybe the most important, how could it not be the most important inning of the entire season? Everyone gets an at-bat. Javi gets 2 at-bats. He kicks things off. How about Javi Baez, El Mago, Javier Baez, turning into what might be the best player on this team here in the postseason if Riley Green did not exist? I loved the performance that Riley Green had yesterday. He had a couple quick at-bats, didn't work up the count. That's kind of been the key for him, at least here. Like that's what we've asked him to do a little bit more of. But you know what? Those first pitch swings, if he can get on base, then to hell with the long at-bats. He gets a lefty-lefty hit yesterday, Kyle, and that made my heart warm because there was a lot of people saying that A.J. Hinch made the right decision to pinch hit him and take him out of the game for Jahmai Jones in game number 2. I sat here and said that's not something you do to your franchise player. Don't care if he's been paid. Don't care what the splits say. You leave those guys in the game, and yesterday Riley Green showed why it was a mistake in game number 2. Luckily, it didn't cost him in game 2 because he's able to come through, gets the lefty-lefty hit. Kerry Carpenter has 2 lefty-lefty hits in this series as well, and the Tigers explode for 4 runs there in the 7th inning. That was after a Dylan Dingler ding-dong in the 6th. First home run, only home run of the series, and look at that. The Tigers are flying to Seattle.
Well, and that's what we've come to learn with this Tigers offense, right? When it happens in bunches. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. The first 2 games against Cleveland, you get an early run in the game, and that's all you get. You leave everybody on base. But as soon as somebody sparks it, and Dylan Dingler did it with the home run out of nowhere, they start off the 7th inning, following the inning with the homer, with that Javi double down the line, and that was immediately when you realize, okay, they've gotten out of this funk. And it sucks that it takes everyone for it to kind of happen, but the way that it did happen was awesome.
Dylan Dingler was hitless before that home run. The Tigers hadn't hit a home run yet in the series. And what was the stat you gave us yesterday? 80% of the teams that have more home runs in a series end up advancing.
Yes.
The Tigers get to add to that other statistic, the other side of this statistic, in this one, because they only hit 1 home run the entire series. Doesn't matter. They small balled their way to a victory, which ironically, the Tigers, a year ago they were this small ball gritty team. That wasn't the Tigers this season. Their best
Cleveland
player
was that team.
Right. The Tigers' best player hit 36 home runs. Their second dude in Torkelson hit 30 plus. Kerry Carpenter not too far behind that. They had 7 guys hit 10 plus home runs this season. Jahmai Jones was 7 for himself. This was a not super duper power hitting team. But maybe if they played in a smaller stadium, we would have considered them one. They play in Comerica Park. They still ended up in this top half of the league in home runs, but they disappeared with the power in the late stages of the season, in the waning moments of the year, and then none of it showed up in the postseason until Dylan Dingler was able to hit one out. He had a really tough series before his big hit. You know who had an even tougher series before his big hit was Wenzel Perez. Before Wenzel Perez hits that double and sends everybody home and ends up being maybe the biggest hit of the evening, he was 10 for 78 in his last 78 at-bats. That is some, why are you in the 3-hole stuff? I think you and I even questioned that when the lineup card came out right when the show ended yesterday. It's this guy Wenzel Perez who's having some terrible at-bats, who can't seem to get on base to save his life right now, he's in the 3-hole today? That seemed very problematic. And I get it, he's the switch hitting guy.
Trying to split up the lefties a little bit.
But at some point, you got to just be like, dude, he's just not producing right now. And he didn't produce until he had that hit yesterday, a really tough series for him. All that can be not forgotten. It should not just be ignored. You can't just throw all that out the window.
Right.
But he made up for it, Well,
and I also do think it's less of a, tough series for Wenzel Perez up to that point. It was a tough series for the Tigers offense.
Yeah.
All it took was just some spark going, and like you saw, it gets everybody else kind of out of the funk that they've been in. So all it took was the Dylan Dingler home run, who also was in a funk. You just got to see one, when the entire team and offense is struggling the way it is, you just got to see one happen like that. Like you said, this is a team that had power this season, the 5th most homers in the American League. Like, this wasn't some team that got dink and dunk runs this year. They did it with power. And when that's just gone out of nowhere, it's got to get back. And they did it with Dingler, and it sparked everyone else.
And even though the power has been absent for the most part this series, like, they have found ways to still get runners on and advance the guys. I mean, Parker Meadows lays down a beautiful bunt yesterday to advance the runners, and he ends up beating out the run at first base. Like, that's the Tigers that we saw from last year that can find a way to win even when the power has apparently disappeared for the time being. They found multiple ways to advance runners yesterday. Even, you know what comes to mind, too? Like, Javi's on second. Who would have been on third in that case? It would have been Parker. Glaber hits one, or no, it was Javi on third, Parker Meadows on first. Glaber Torres hits one right back to the pitcher, and it's like, it's not something you really think about, but the fact that he didn't strike out allowed Parker Meadows to advance over to second, and then on the very next at-bat, you know, they hit, or Kerry Carpenter walks, and then Torkelson hits everybody home. Like, it's the small stuff. Glaber Torres, you know, nothing shows up in the box score in that other than a ground out, but the fact that he's making decent contact and allowing the runners to advance, everyone contributed, even if it didn't show up in the box score yesterday, it felt like. Bottom of the lineup, middle of the lineup, top of the lineup. There was a lot of questions about the core of this team. Kerry, Spencer, and Riley Green all come through in this game, and Riley Green in this series. I mean, some of the Riley Green stuff, for the conversations that we were having about him and all the strikeouts and wondering whether or not he could be the best player on a team going to a World Series. I guess that question remains a little bit unanswered, but man, he completely balled out in this series. 364 average and a 962 OPS. Shut everybody down that had doubted this guy. And I love that for him.
And it's, you know, think about what he had to overcome to do what he did in this series. Last year in the playoffs was pretty bad, like for being one of the Tigers' best hitters, was not a contributor offensively in either playoff series last year. And also doing it against Cleveland, a team that he has just historically throughout his career been really bad against. And the fact that he got it done against that team and the team that beat you in the playoffs in a playoff scenario, it was super awesome.
And I know I've mentioned this, I don't know, 100 times over the course of the last 4 months of the show. I hate this Cleveland team, and to be able to throw them into their grave, take the dirt, pour dirt on top of them, and it feels like this really is the end of an era for Cleveland. I know, like, they're not. No. I'm not saying like they're getting rid of Kwan and they're getting rid of Ramirez, but like they did sell it here at the deadline and found a way to get there. Feels like there is some major changes coming to this Cleveland team. So to pour dirt on this 2025 Cleveland team that stormed back, stole your division title, and to be able to send that home team. Well, okay, I did
take your division title.
Okay, hold on. I did see a lot of that. I would like to address a division title would still be nice to have.
Of course it would be. I would rather still be playing playoff baseball, though.
100%. But
both would be cool, though, too.
I didn't like enjoy the division title talk, because I would have enjoyed a division title very much so, and you could have won the games in Comerica Park rather than at home. So, hey, you can congratulate them on the division title, but Tigers are moving on to the ALDS. However, this is a spot that they played in last year. And if they were to be eliminated by Seattle, as much as we can celebrate today, because the Tigers sure did, I don't know how much I love that. It's more of a baseball thing. It's not a Tigers thing. I'll get to that in a little bit later on in the show, and how much these Major League Baseball teams are celebrating after wild card win. It kind of blows my mind. I'll get to that a little bit later on, but I want to go over this Tiger season in general. Because if they were to get bounced in this round and make it to the ALDS and lose, as much as we're celebrating today and the Tigers celebrated yesterday, I think that would be a failure of a season. I want to know whether or not people agree or disagree with that. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got the YouTube going. We've got the Facebook going. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the YouTube page. Obviously, if you're here listening in the Great Lakes Bay region, we've got our Mitt messages. One more time, it's 989-837-6125. How would you define success in this year's Detroit Tigers season? 9 o'clock hour, as always, brought to you by Iron Stack Technologies. Strong businesses, well, they need strong tech. And that's where Iron Stack Technologies comes in. Locally owned in Midland, they keep your IT rock solid, from cybersecurity to cloud services and, well, everything in between. Think of them as like an invisible backbone of your business. No capes, just smarter solutions. Whether you're a small shop, a growing company, Iron Stack makes sure your tech doesn't crumble under pressure. Iron Stack Technologies, strong, steady, and built to keep you moving forward like the Tigers into the postseason. We'll be right back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Ah, bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run!
Ah!
Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
We got a game, boys.
This week on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football showcases the best team in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. They welcome the 2-2 New England Patriots to Orchard Park. Coverage is at 7:30, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9. The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Lions ran up the scoreboard on Ben Johnson on purpose to rub it in. I think the Lions' defense is just scratching the surface on becoming a dominant top 10 unit. I think Bryce Underwood is a future Heisman winner, but not quite yet. And I think Tarek Skubal is less than a month away from becoming the best Tigers pitcher of the 21st century. Oh, and I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, live from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Repair.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Would you consider this Detroit Tigers season a success right now if they were to get bounced by Seattle? I think there's a pretty clear and obvious answer. The Detroit Tigers season is not a success yet. They have to beat Seattle. They had one more regular season win compared to 2024 here in 2025. They did not hang an AL Central banner, unfortunately, because they had the biggest meltdown in the history of Major League Baseball. Last year, they won 2 games in the ALDS before Cleveland took them out in Game 5. You have to win this series for the season to be a success. If they were to have won the AL Central and got knocked out in the ALDS, I would say season success. You hung a banner. You made it just as far in the playoffs, but you had way more regular season success, so you took another step forward. But because they blew that division, now all of a sudden there was more pressure on them in this series to win it and advance to the American League Championship Series, because otherwise you didn't actually take a step forward despite having such a fun first half of the season and naming 6 guys to the All-Star team. So for the Tigers season to be considered a success to me, they have to beat Seattle here.
I think this is such a fun exercise because think about if you asked you this question prior to the season starting. Like before we knew that this team was going to be at the top of the American League all season. Before you knew that they were going to blow a 15-game lead division and whatever happened. If you were just asked this on March 15th, hey, the Tigers are going to go to the divisional series again, but they're going to lose. Would you take that as a successful season?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because it's the same spot they ended up in last year. You got to take a step forward.
You got to remember what this team was coming into the year. They were the 3rd favorite in their own division. Like this, they weren't supposed to go back and dominate this league again. Obviously they didn't, but like they did for a good chunk of the season.
I mean, they were the last wild card team, Kyle. Like if you would have said at the beginning of the year, hey, you're the last wild card team and you make it just as far as you just did and you lose in the ALDS, how is that considered a successful season? It's the exact same season you had last year. You got to take a step forward, and the only way to take a step forward since you decided to blow the division down the stretch, and I don't mean to harp on that, but if we're going to consider this season a success, you got to take a step forward. And because you lost out on a division, the only way to do that is to beat Seattle.
Right. I guess I wouldn't say it's not a success, but it certainly wouldn't have been a failure preseason. You wouldn't have been like, oh, that's a failure if they do what they did last year. No, a failure would have been just missing out on the playoffs. Whereas after watching the entire season play out and how things have worked, I do agree that it would be a failure at this point because of what has happened this season. Now, you could say that I understand the argument from the flip side, and I wonder if some people think this way. Is just beating Cleveland enough? Is getting that monkey off your back of you can't beat this team, they beat you in last year's playoffs, they stole the division from you, and you faced them in a 3-game series and beat them. Is that enough for you to be satisfied with this 2025 Tigers season? It probably shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be, but I'll give you that.
Right.
Like, it is something because that was
it's nice. It feels good today. I'll tell you that.
That was a dark cloud that had been over the Tigers really for the last 5 years, but specifically the last year since they took you out of the playoffs and lit up Tarek Skubal, and then you couldn't beat them down the stretch, and then they stole the division from you, and then it looked like they were going to, kick you out of the playoffs for the second consecutive year too. It's nice for sure, but I don't think your season can be defined by, hey, we were better than this team, right? It's not Michigan versus Ohio State. This is Major League Baseball. There's not a rivalry quite like that. As much as I hate this Guardians team, and it's nice to knock them out and put them in their grave, no, they have to beat Seattle for this to truly be a successful season. Is it as black and white as failure, non-failure, like failure, success, black, white? Probably not, but if we're going to turn it into a yes or no thing, and there's no gray area, then they simply have to win 3 of the next 5 games for the season to be a success. Otherwise, it's a failure. Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Just because of the way that things went, and you were so good all season long, and we've discussed all year about the American League is so wide open, and the Tigers feel like they have a real chance to make a run in it, and then once September came around, you're like, oh, they're not going to compete with any of these teams in the American League anymore. And we shouldn't just throw that out the window. They're in this spot now. There's 4 teams left in the league, and you're one of them. Like, you should be able to at least put your hat in that race.
In the team that's the favorite to win the American League, it's the Yankees, right? Or is it still Seattle?
Let me double check. I know that the Yankees are favored pretty heavily to beat Toronto, so I would.
You just beat that team a couple weeks ago. I guess at this point it was like a month ago. But you just had a series win versus this team.
It is the Yankees, yes.
So the team that's the favorite in the American League, and I don't mean to look ahead to other series because you got to beat Seattle, but the team that was favored to win the entire thing right now, you just had a series win against. In fact, it's the last series win you had.
They're the favorites to win the whole thing.
What?
Them and the Dodgers have the same odds to win the whole thing, which is hilarious because why do the Dodgers have, Phillies were the team to win the World Series before. Obviously, the Dodgers winning the wild card helps, but sorry to
that's
distract
just
you.
got no. You're fine. That's just got to be a Yankees Dodgers
yes.
like L.A. New York thing because
It
they know
absolutely
if
is.
they give them the real odds that it like whatever their computer spit out, everyone in New York and L.A. will just be smashing those
And
odds.
just every casual baseball fan is like, oh, Dodgers Yankees rematch. Oh, let me bet that.
There's like a fee. There's like a tax that you have to pay. The odds just aren't ever going to be equal to those teams. The Lakers, the Knicks.
The Lakers tax is really truly what it is. Yes.
The Chiefs honestly have
The
a tax at
Cowboys
this
even,
point.
yeah.
The Cowboys. That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Where are the Brewers at?
To win the World Series or just to win the league?
The World Series.
To win the World Series, they are 5th at plus 700.
Oh my God, we're the best team all year. All right, that's shocking, honestly. 989-837-6125. Would this be a successful season if the Tigers were to get bounced here in the ALDS without moving on to the championship series? Got a text right here that says Baez was the MVP for this series. His at-bats were great even when the team was cold. He also made multiple great defensive plays. Even that error that was charged to him in Game 1 was iffy. Great to see a veteran player step up here in the postseason. Javi Baez, 5 hits in 11 at-bats, crossed home plate once, only 1 double, but I'm fine if he's just a singles machine. He's like Miguel Cabrera in his last season. Just get on base, man. Singles machine. We don't even need you to stretch it to second. Just hit guys on. You get on for the top of the lineup because right now, him in that 8 or 9 hole, I love him there. I think it's the perfect spot for him.
And we talk all the time about how elite of a tagger he is. That was on display yesterday.
Such a weird trait to have. It's a weird skill, but he's so good at it.
I know it didn't matter, but them getting J-Ram out at second on the Will Vest not catching the ball at first, that was huge. Because if they were able to continue that inning with a runner in scoring position and maybe stretch it to a 2-run game instead of 3,
I
would have gotten worried for sure. But I mean, it was a good play to get him out. It
was also the worst play and the best play of the game defensively somehow from Will Vest.
Absolutely
makes a terrible play over at first and then makes up for it by
and Vest
gunning
was good
Ramirez
on
down.
the mound too. Like it sucks that play happens. Obviously,
Vest had a weird series, didn't he?
He did. I mean, he was good. He was good pitching wise in this series. Like he was good in Game 1 too.
He was good pitching wise, but both times he got himself into, or maybe the defense got himself into
jams. Yes,
like really uncomfortable situations, and he got out of both of them.
Jose Ramirez for some reason,
because that guy's impossible to get out.
Yeah,
he's a little too slow to get to second base on that play though. That was awesome to get him out there. He is the only Guardian. I guess Kwan too. That I have true respect for those two guys. Everybody else on that team, like I if I never saw them play baseball again, I'd be thrilled. But those two guys are studs, and to take them down.
Ramirez is one of the best players in the league. Obviously, like he's an absolute stud. I think we do got to give a little bit of love to Jack Flaherty here too, right? I mean,
have we not brought him up?
Talking about just what they got out of him yesterday was exactly what they needed. It's exactly what the bullpen needed based on the day that they had prior. And it was you'll take that outing from Jack Flaherty, who has not been good in the postseason. Specifically, a year ago was really not good in the postseason. Awesome game from him.
And they let him get out of that jam in the the third inning, the fourth inning, third inning.
Third inning.
They let him get out of that. He comes back in the fourth. Excellent performance from him. We didn't know what we were getting from him, and I guess when he starts, it's probably going to be game 4 if necessary against Seattle. I don't know what we're getting from them either, but hopefully at that point, maybe the Tigers have a lead. Here's how the series pitching-wise is going to go. It's going to be a bullpen day, Game 1. It's going to be Tarek Skubal on the mound, Game 2. It's going to be Casey Mize on the mound, Game 3. It's going to be Jack Flaherty, Game 4. And then if necessary, it's going to be Casey Mize, Game 5. If you can somehow figure out a way to win a bullpen day in Game 1 on Saturday, you're probably going up 2-0. The way
Well,
Tarek
they would go
Skubal's
Skubal
pitching.
Game 5, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Mize Game 5.
Yeah. No. Skubal game. Maybe I did. Skubal Game 5.
Yep.
And I think they're just giving him the extra day's rest. Also, if he pitches Game 2, he can still pitch Game 5.
Exactly, and it gives you that like luxury of, hey, if you somehow do go up 1-0 in Game 1, you have Skubal up to potentially go up 2-0. Whereas if you lose Game 1, okay, we feel good about Skubal evening things up on the road to make it 1-1 going back to Comerica Park. So it makes a ton of sense. They did this exact same thing last year transitioning from the Houston to Cleveland series, so I like it.
989-837-6125. Bresky Siding and Building Repair. You can protect your home with them. The experts who do the job right the first time. Leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired. Bresky's got you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today to keep your home strong for years to come. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll hit the news when we come back. And I also need to get something off my chest regarding all these celebrations that we see after teams making it out of the wild card rounds. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Do we have any spray paint? Why? I need lots of paint. I'm going to paint the house.
I don't think so.
But it looks bad.
Well, you can't spray paint the house.
And then let's call Bresky Siding and Building Repair. They can do it.
Is your siding looking faded, worn out, or just in need of an update? Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your siding, roofing, and gutter needs.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
On Wednesday, October 8th, we're sending someone to East Lansing for their matchup against UCLA. On Saturday, October 11th, first chance to go see Aiden Childs and Nick Marsh go take on another Big Ten school. Big Win Wednesday, every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the show. Tigers victory. We haven't even talked about the Lions yet. I think there's a chance they're putting up record sort of numbers, record-breaking numbers in terms of what they do to this Bengals team. We'll get to that in the 10 o'clock hour. How about we hit the news in the meantime?
The Mits Morning Catch.
All right, let's get into the news, Ben.
Okay.
It's Friday. That means we got a big weekend to preview. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, let's take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
What?
Over in Frankenmuth this weekend, we got the Michigan's Big Country Fest going on. It's still warm out. It's going to be like 80 degrees this weekend, which is kind of crazy. So that's over in Heritage Park in Frankenmuth if you're looking to listen and vibe out to some country music in the fall. All right, let's talk about...
You're a country music guy, right?
I wouldn't say I'm like a country music guy. I listen to country music.
Then how does that not make you a country music person?
I think country music guys listen to strictly country music.
See, in my mind, anyone who ever throws on country music is a country music person. Because I don't really listen to country music.
Right.
So in my mind, if anyone, if it's even in your rotation at all, you're a country music person.
Okay, that's fair. I just think that I think that country music guys are like, well, I only listen to country music. I don't listen to rap or this or that.
That's a good impression.
You know? Whereas I like a lot of genres of music, including country music.
Fair enough. Well versed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like Jared.
So if you, right, yes, like Jared Verse. So if you're looking to listen to country music, head over there. Okay, let's talk about the other series going on in baseball. Man, Dodgers were the one team that advanced. So we had 3 Game 3s yesterday in the wild card series. And the Yankees-Red Sox Game 3 was, this series rocked, man. This was an awesome series. We had a couple guys that traditional baseball fans were like, wait, this is Game 3 wild card, and we have Connolly Early versus Cam Schlittler on the mound? Well, Cam Schlittler of the Yankees let everybody know who he is. 12 strikeouts for him, for the youngster, as the Yankees defeat the Red Sox. The Red Sox are the first team in the current version of the wild card since 2022 to go up 1-0 in the wild card series and lose the series.
First team ever, huh?
First team ever. It's only been 4 years.
God, the Tigers were not part of that statistic.
It seemed like they were going. They've been breaking records for a while in the negative way, so it felt like they were going to. But yeah, the Yankees outlast the Red Sox here. This was a pretty good series. Cool for the Yankees for winning.
I will say that Red Sox team next season, with all the injuries they dealt with this year, that's definitely a team to look out for, and they don't even have to really do anything in the offseason. They're just going to get better with Roman Anthony coming back. They dealt with injuries all season long.
Their whole team is hurt. I mean, all of their guys, like 4 of their starting pitchers are hurt. Roman Anthony, Tristan Casas, like their whole squad is banged up.
That's a team that making the playoffs was a celebration of its own.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not that the Tigers wasn't, but like the fact that team dragged their way into a playoff.
If they played.
Oh, for sure.
But yes, like they shouldn't be disappointed by their season by any means. They're going to be a threat next year, absolutely. And they'll probably spend a little bit of money. They might lose Bregman though, so
probably will lose Bregman.
Man, you went from 2 third basemen to none. That's crazy. Anyways, the other series that took place yesterday that came to a close, the Cubs defeating the Padres 3-1.
You see the Padres trying to fight the umpires after the game? See that video?
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts had a lot to say in his post-game as well, talking about how he basically, I can't wait for the ABS next year. Like,
that's such loser talk, though. Like, even if the umpires had a bad game, you can't blame that as the reason you lost the series. You just can't do it.
They had a comeback attempt in the 9th inning. It fell just shy, and they felt like the umps kind of were part of that.
I don't know if I've ever seen an entire dugout trying to fight the umpires on their way to the umpire hangout lounge, whatever we're calling that.
The only time you could ever say the umps are for sure to blame here is the Jim Joyce Galarraga situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing where you're like, that is clearly strictly only on the umpire and nobody else. But yes, interesting to see this. I was talking about this yesterday when we were watching the Tigers game. Like, if I was an ump in the playoffs right now, I would be calling terrible calls. It's your last chance to do it. Oh, that ball's 2 balls out of the strike zone. Strike! What are they going to do? Challenge it?
Yell
you can't.
at you?
Sorry, you can't. This is like it's your last time to have a power trip. That's all those guys care about, you know? So
I think anyone who...
No, I'm joking. That's loser mentality.
I think those who seek profession as professional umpires and referees just kind of like oddball humans.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be very ego-minded to be an umpire like that.
Like,
right?
I don't care that everyone hates
because
me.
everyone,
I have the
everyone
power.
hates you, and you kind of like embrace that everyone hates you. Yeah,
it's an odd thing to desire.
I agree. Yeah, it's like to embrace the hate. Yeah, it is odd. Okay, last night, how have we not touched on it yet? Thursday Night Football last night, another NFC West battle. We thought that maybe coming into this game, this might be a bit of a blowout. The entire 49ers offense is injured.
Mac Jones.
Who is throwing passes?
Mac
who is
Jones.
catching passes? Mac Jones balls out. They win 26-23. Another primetime overtime game. We've just been getting a ton of these lately. And we got another one last night.
Al Michaels cracks me up, man. He's sitting in the booth stirring the pot with the 49ers quarterback situation, and Kirk Herbstreit's just dying laughing about it. He's like, hey, there's going to be some real interesting conversations coming up with Brock Purdy and Mac Jones because one of them looks better than the other. And Kirk's like, dude, are you allowed to say that? He's like purposely starting beef.
He's
but
80 years old. He can say whatever he wants.
I agree with him, though. I'm not necessarily telling you that Mac Jones has looked better than Brock Purdy, although he has, kind of, especially considering what the weapons Mac Jones is throwing to. But the thing that I'm going to go back to is the 49ers paying Brock Purdy to run the Kyle Shanahan offense when Mac Jones is doing it with the C squad in terms of the weapons.
Right.
I mean, it's just looking more and more like a ill-advised decision to pay Brock Purdy.
This looked like we were going to get another tie as well.
Oh,
like
I know.
This game just screamed
Shout out Sean
tie.
McVay, though. Sean
Yeah.
McVay's not a loser. He wanted to go for the
He
win.
kind of is a loser, though, for, like, the play call, man, for how creative he is.
Yeah, that was a terribly
He's the most
designed
creative
play.
guy ever. And then he just, like, let's just bang it up the middle with Kyron, and it really hasn't been, like, very effective all night.
Looked like a 2008, like, let's just run it.
Yeah.
Like, even the Lions, that was a pretty old-school formation. They would have gotten more creative than that.
Right, I
How
agree.
is that not an outside zone or some sort of play action or something with motion before the play started? That was just a very, like, 15 years ago play.
It was. To your point, though, about the Purdy-Mac Jones thing, they did ask Mac Jones post-game, like, essentially, like, what's just kind of the question of, like, who should be the quarterback of this team or whatever. And
Really?
he gave, like, the political, like, you know, yes, sir answer of, like, I was brought in to be the backup. Brock is the quarterback of this team. He's done a great job with helping me, you know, this and that. But it's interesting that he was asked that, though, for sure.
I wonder if the Bengals, well, you know the Amazon Prime coverage, they just don't care. Al Michaels can say whatever he wants.
That's why Amazon Prime is the best. They do whatever they want.
They'll throw Tyreek Hill under the bus for having all those criminal charges. They just do whatever they please. It's kind of awesome. I wonder if the team the Lions are playing this week and the Bengals would be interested in making a call to the 49ers.
I don't think they want to give him up, man. With the amount of injuries that they've had, I would not want to trade Mac. Like, at least they clearly like him a ton.
I agree with you. But are the Bengals desperate enough to be like, hey, here's a stupid amount of draft capital? Not like multiple picks, but like if you get a call for a third-round pick, you kind of have to take that,
For your
right?
backup quarterback.
Yeah. Although, if
Why
Brock,
would the Bengals do that, though?
the catch though is like Brock Purdy. I just don't know if he's gonna stay
Be
healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like he wasn't even healthy last week when he came back. You know,
He wasn't healthy this
their whole
week.
team's injured, man. Kendrick Bourne got 10 catches last night. He joined the team 2 weeks ago.
And
Jake Tungus, the tight end, man, he's all over the place.
And when Mac Jones got his leg banged up in this one and Adrian Martinez had to come into the game, he looked like he was about to pee his pants when he checked in.
Big Ten football legend Adrian Martinez.
Big Ten football legend. That's right. Yeah, he did not look like he wanted to be there.
It reminded me of when they had to bring in McCaffrey in the AFC Championship game, or they didn't, but like they talked about like, oh, McCaffrey's going to play quarterback in this game. Like,
Yeah. You remember
that was
when
the funniest stuff.
that
Man,
same
this team
game
always is injured, dude.
That same game, Kittle was like asking Purdy on the sideline, "Can you throw left-handed?" Purdy was like, "No, no, I can't."
Why would I do that? Yeah. Okay.
That's so down bad.
Let's do one more thing here, and then we'll save the rest for later. We've got a solid college football slate this weekend, so let's just talk about, or at least give you the times of some of the big games. Of course, Michigan and Michigan State both back in action after their byes last week. Wisconsin is at number 20 Michigan. That is at noon, so that should be a good one. And then Michigan State at Nebraska. That's at 4.
Wisconsin's defensive line's been really good this year. It's a big spread. It's like 17.5 when I looked last night. I don't think Michigan should have a problem, but a bigger test for the offensive line coming into this one.
Yeah, 17.5-point favorites for the Wolverines, and then the Spartans are 11.5-point dogs against Nebraska. And then quickly, the two really big games as far as top 25 go in college football. the big one, 3:30, 16 Vanderbilt at number 10 Alabama. And
2 years in a row?
The night game, 3 Miami at 18 Florida State.
Can Vandy get them two straight years? Right after, like, smoke
After
is being blown up their butts.
Bama, yeah.
They go on the road and beat Georgia, and then all of a sudden maybe lose at home.
I do got to check the spread on this. I would imagine Bama's still got to be like 7 to 10 point favorites, right?
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see where
favorites.
the money is, though, because I feel like everyone's kind of gassing up the Vandy hype train there. That other game should be good too, though. I know Florida State's coming off the big dramatic loss with the field rush against Virginia, but they've looked really good up until that point. And Miami, you can make an argument, looks like the best team in the country. So,
well, and I think that's just that's kind of what it is, because everyone loves like the story of Vanderbilt.
How could you not?
Yeah, and so I'm checking really quick so I can see the who's betting on who really. Is
that on
here.
PFF?
Yeah, the money's on Vandy spread.
Okay,
So-
like significant or
No, it's pretty tight. It's like right in the 50s, 40s range. So.
Oh, that doesn't mean all that much.
No.
Okay, that's college football. That's the news for you here on the Ben Bosscher Show. 989-837-6125. Bright smiles. They start when the Tigers win, and they start at Scott Family Dental, where comfort, care, and clean teeth come at a standard. Locally owned by Brandon Scott, a native of the Great Lakes Bay region, the business is family-focused. They treat patients of all ages like kids of their own. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they've got the tools and the gentle touch to keep your smile shining. Friendly staff, modern tech, zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. So go ahead, show off those pearly whites. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program, visit 1009themit.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mid Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
Well, a couple things I'll mention. One I'm really proud of is the work we've done on post-secondary education, because when we think about what really transforms an individual's life, it's education.
Mm-hmm.
That makes such a difference in the ability to be able to have a livable wage, to be able to contribute to your community, to be able to give back. So the work that we've done in the post-secondary space, because we give out a lot of scholarships, but when I got there, I went, it seems like we're just a processor of scholarships. I want to be a promoter of education.
Yeah. Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mid. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
On Wednesday, October 8th, we're sending someone to East Lansing for their matchup against UCLA. On Saturday, October 11th, first chance to go see Aiden Childs and Nick Marsh go take on another Big Ten school. Big Win Wednesday, every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a two-hearted ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, this may be it's not a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take, but is it weird to anyone else how hard these MLB teams celebrate after advancing out of the wild card? Does anyone else think it's strange that these guys get hammered 48 hours before the biggest game of the season, a playoff game, game one of the ALDS, and you've got the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Tigers or whoever advanced in the wild card? These guys just getting hammered in the clubhouse. I don't know if I necessarily love that. I don't mean to be like Mr. No Celebration, but I think about it in NBA terms of like, if you made it out of the first round of the playoffs in the NBA and they had those sort of locker room celebrations, I can't imagine the way that those guys would get shredded online for celebrating like that. Like, this only happens in baseball. And I guess I'm just curious as to why we've accepted it that every time you move on in a series, these guys are allowed to get totally drunk right before another huge game in 48 hours. I guess I don't love the idea of that, but at the same time, it's obviously like super fun for them, and I think it brings them closer together, and they want to chase it again and have that feeling again. So, like, I'm not necessarily saying I hate it and don't want them to be celebrating. I'm just raising the question.
Yeah, but you kind of are, though.
All I'm doing is raising the question, does anyone else think it's kind of weird? Because I do. This only happens in baseball.
It's also like the least physically taxing professional sport. You know,
it's
like,
true.
Like basketball players can't get drunk the night before they have a huge game. Football players most of the time can't.
And
baseball players, like, as long as the starting pitcher isn't, like, you're probably fine. But also,
I agree, but like,
we're not just gonna like. First, it was the Jackson Dart touchdown celebration, first ever touchdown. What, he's not allowed to celebrate that, and then it was this. Like, it's just, why are we out on celebrating? You know.
I'm not out on celebrating. I'm just asking, because here's the bottom line. I'm not against the celebration, but would you rather the team be wasted 48 hours before a game or not? I would say no. And you're
it's
right.
Good for content, though, right?
It's very good for content. You're right in terms of it's the least physically taxing sport. But it's also the sport that mentally maybe is more taxing than any. And I feel like even a 48-hour, difference, like
you got to travel in there too.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it has some sort of effect still 48 hours later. I'm just saying, like, I'm not a doctor, but if I had to guess, there's got to be some scientific evidence that even 48 hours later, you probably would be at your physical peak best and your mental sharp best if you didn't drink compared to if you did. Is it a small difference? Probably. I don't know. Maybe there's no difference at all, but I'm just wondering if anyone else thinks it's kind of weird because this doesn't happen in any other sport.
That's the part that I think is kind of interesting because, like, this isn't like a team wins a series in basketball and their go-to thing is like, we're okay, next series. Like, we can't celebrate this yet. Like that's kind of how every team reacts to that.
Like, imagine an NBA team did this. Like, what would Kobe Bryant think about this? Kobe Bryant would laugh in the face of the Dodgers and the Yankees and all these post-game locker room celebrations. I'm not saying I hate it and they shouldn't do it. I just think it's weird that it's acceptable in this sport and no other sport.
That's fair. It's a good point.
And I guess I'm just wondering if anyone else agrees with me or has also thought about this. Because I was watching the Tigers all get plastered after the game. Like, good for them. Have fun. But, man, they were really enjoying themselves. And I'm like, we got a game in 48 hours, guys. Are we going to be good by then?
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. Like, they're adults and know how to handle themselves. But
I don't know if Jake Rogers knows how to handle himself, man. That guy goes crazy.
Jake Rogers?
He goes crazy in these post-game celebrations. So is
Riley.
Skubal goes crazy in these too, man.
Riley was going nuts too. He just like beer after beer after beer out of his pocket, dumping it on, who was it? Carey. He just kept pouring it on Carey
while he was getting interviewed. That's my favorite part about, like I said, for content, like all the reporters that go in there, like Danielle Bruce was in there, just like
Brad Galley was in there.
Yeah, you just see everyone just getting drenched with all the alcohol that's in there while they're trying to interview people. So good.
I'm not trying to be the fun police. Like, I love the content too. I had a thought yesterday when I was watching all the videos, and I felt like I had to share it. Like, does anyone else think this is kind of weird? It wouldn't happen in any other sport. And they've got a game in 48 hours. It's not like they have a week off. We did get an awesome AJ Hinch speech prior to their celebration, so here's that.
Congratulations. This should feel really good, not only because of what we've done, but where we're doing it, right? They test us and test us and test us, and we keep answering. Okay, it's taken 89 wins to get to this point. I know what 11 more bring. Our first win of the year was where? Seattle. Let's go back to Seattle.
That is like ASMR, the pop of all those bottles.
That was super cool, yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be that
awesome.
That crystal clear. 989-837-6125. Joe says, I agree with Ben. It's weird. It feels like we all just think they have to do it, so they just do it, and nobody quite knows why. Maybe if you win the pennant, but this is just a wild card. Come on now, settle down, John from Midland.
I think it's fair. I also do think, though, like, the Tigers needed to celebrate that. Them getting over the hump of beating Cleveland, everything that's happened down the stretch. Like, I think they needed that celebration just to, like, let loose. Like, But as, like, the Dodgers beating the Reds, like, they probably don't need to do that. So that's like kind of it. I think it is situational.
Oh, my God. One of our texters texted in. They asked ChatGPT if it still affects your like alcohol consumption 48 hours later. This is so good. Do I have time to read this?
You could just ask like a yeah, you have time. Yeah.
Okay, this is what Will. Thank you, Will. Will texted in a screenshot of what ChatGPT said 48 hours after alcohol consumption. It says the length of alcohol remains in your system depending on several factors, including the amount consumed, body weight, gender, age. In general, blood alcohol can be detected in the following blood systems for the following durations: blood up to 12 hours, breath up to 24, urine up to 72. Saliva up to 12, hair up to 90. You know what? When we go to the next break, I need to do like very specifically like pro athletes, 48
They'll be
hours.
Fine.
No, I know. I'm not sitting here and complaining about it. I'm just bringing it up. It's weird that
people are
it
kind
only
of agreeing with you on YouTube as well.
It's weird that it only happens in Major League Baseball. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, we're celebrating making it out of the wild card series. We still have 2 more series before we even get to the World Series. I just think it's somewhat bizarre. That's all I'm saying. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some of your thoughts on that coming up. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got the 10 o'clock hour on the way. Detroit Lions, I think they can break some franchise records here versus the Bengals on Sunday at 4:25. I'll tell you what I'm talking about when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Coleman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center.
In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. At Edward Jones, we believe in building a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so we can help you work towards achieving what's most important to you.
Contact Kevin Spencer today at 832-8428. 832-8428. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Lions ran up the scoreboard on Ben Johnson on purpose to rub it in. I think the Lions' defense is just scratching the surface on becoming a dominant top 10 unit. I think Bryce Underwood is a future Heisman winner, but not quite yet. And I think Tarek Skubal is less than a month away from becoming the best Tigers pitcher of the 21st century. Oh, and I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show live from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Repair. Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Michigan needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Ten o'clock hour here on the Ben Bosscher Show, as always, is brought to you by Corning. Look, just to put a bow on that conversation we were having before we went into our last break, we did get another text that says Dennis Rodman would party like an animal. Less than 24 hours later, would ball out his entire career. Yeah, and then I was kind of like thinking about some of the other guys that have openly done that. Charles Barkley said he used to play hungover a good amount. Allen Iverson, same thing. I mean, Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle were like hungover or drunk and smoking cigarettes in the middle of their games. So,
yeah, some guys in the 90s were doing hard drugs the night before their games. So yeah. I think a beer two days before is going to be fine.
One beer, yeah. And I did do some ChatGPT. They said as long as you have a good recovery plan in over 48 hours.
Which I would assume they do as professional athletes.
I would assume so as well. Hey, go nuts.
Let them have fun.
I was just wondering if anyone thought it was weird. It was less about, like, the 48 hours later thing was only half of it. The other half was like, no other sport does this. Like the NBA.
They would have done it if they had a game tomorrow, probably.
I know. But, like, it's the first round. And the Knicks didn't go nuts after they beat the Pistons in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I can't imagine the conversations going around on Reddit and Twitter after like if they were to do that and then lose. Oh my God, people would kill them. They would not let NBA players do that, but it's the norm in Major League Baseball, so I guess let it be the norm. All right, let's switch gears here. Detroit Lions play against the Bengals on Sunday at 4:25. The Lions' franchise record for points is 55. I think there's a decent chance that they can break that franchise record on Sunday. This Bengals offense is atrocious. Atrocious. The Lions are going to be starting with great field position more often than not. They crossed the 50-yard line once versus Denver, and Denver's considered like one of the best defenses in the NFL. But I think the Lions are creeping closely up to that as well. And thank goodness it sounds like Terrion Arnold's going to play. Maybe some people out there are saying I'd rather him not, but I think the Lions would rather have him out there than Rocky Sin. So it looks like it's going to be Amik Robertson and Terrion Arnold on the outside. And, I wanted to ask the question, is there any concerns about Terrion Arnold versus Jamar Chase and or T. Higgins on Sunday? But honestly, I feel like that conversation has basically been put to bed because over the last 2 weeks, Chase has had 73 yards and Higgins has had 47. So those guys, they just can't get the ball. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jamar Chase had 15-plus targets in this game because he was complaining to Zach Taylor in the middle of the Monday night game. They're on short rest as well. Look, Jake Browning just can't stay upright. He's got a 71 adjusted completion percentage. That's 26th in the NFL. He just can't get the ball to these guys because he's under pressure constantly. So I think the Lions are always going to be starting in good field position. And if Bo Nix, who quite frankly has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL through the first month of the season, if he can look like an MVP candidate and put up all these massive numbers versus his Bengals team, I can't imagine what the Lions are going to do to them. We saw them put up 50 versus the Titans. We saw them put up 50 versus the Colts. We've seen them put up 50. I think they scored 50 versus the Cowboys too last year. 49, I think, actually.
It was 50, yeah.
It was 50. So we've seen them put up 50 points before. I think there's a chance this Bengals team is so bad that the Lions actually end up breaking their franchise record and putting up 50 points, which is why I personally bet on Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, who's from Cincinnati, by the way, first time playing there. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta all score, plus 10,500. I know that sounds absolutely ludicrous.
Yes, and that's where the conversation ends.
They scored 7 touchdowns multiple times last year. Multiple times. And I'm only asking for these 5 guys to score. It's one of those.
Only asking for 5 different guys to score.
It's an everybody eats game. They have 3 to 4 of these a year where they just blow the other team out of the water. They are relentless all the way down until their waning moments of the fourth quarter. They are not going to let up. They're going to keep putting up points. That 30.5 for the over-under for the team, smashing it later on in the show. Look, are all 5 of those guys going to score? I don't know, but if they do, I'm winning a ton of money.
What if it's just one of them games that Gibbs scores 3 times and St. Brown scores twice?
Look, I threw $5 on it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Regardless, I think this Lions offense has a chance to break the franchise record for most points put up. I think they could put up 60. I really do. This Bengals team is bad. I don't think the spread can be high enough.
Yeah, they're much worse than the Browns are. Like
yes.
the Bengals legitimately, I do truly think post Joe Burrow injury, they could be the worst team in the league. The Browns at least have a solid pass rush, and their secondary is fine as well. Their defense is overall pretty solid. Their offense is just god-awful. The thing is, the Bengals offense somehow might actually be worse than the Browns offense, and they're the worst defense in the NFL.
For sure.
So all of those things combined for a complete whooping on Sunday. And I agree. I think that the Lions, they're not afraid to kind of play these games out and elongate them and just, we'll just kind of burn the clock a little bit and we'll end up winning by a couple scores. No, they've shown time and time again they will put on a show in these games like this.
Especially on the road. They're going to want to make these Cincinnati fans remember the Detroit Lions. They are not going to forget about the Dan Campbell-led Detroit Lions from 2025. They want to put on a show. They want to put on a statement. And for that reason, look, I really do think there's a decent chance they put up 60-plus in this one, which, yes, obviously would be the Lions franchise record. You're not at all concerned about TA guarding Higgins and Jamar Chase?
Well, I
Go ahead.
I think that there's a much better chance the Bengals offense is better this week than it was last week against Denver. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Pretty hard to be worse. They crossed the 50-yard line once.
And that Denver defense is especially the secondary. And I mean, they were getting to Browning too in the backfield as well. Like that's the issue with Cincinnati is like their offensive line it's not just the quarterback is bad. Like the quarterback is bad because of how bad their offensive line is.
There was a play on Monday that was going around, so maybe you've already seen this, but the Broncos only blitzed or rushed 3 guys.
I did see this, yes.
One of them just goes right over the center, and then the center and both guards and the running back all went to pick him up, which left one-on-one for each of the edge rushers on each tackle. Both instantly won the matchup, and Jake Browning gets double-sacked. Like, the Lions don't even have to blitz in this game. Aiden Hutchinson and whether it's DJ Reed or Tyleik Williams or Muhammad on the outside or whoever it ends up being, like, they're going to win without having to blitz.
Yeah. But I do think one thing that has been learned with this Lions team is, like, you can pass on them. Like, you can move the football through the air against the Lions. That's been made clear not just this season, the last several seasons. Like, it's just kind of how they play defense. They're going to shut down the run. They're going to leave their corners one-on-one with these matchups. And these are the two best. This is the best wide receiver duo in the league. I don't care who the quarterback is. Like, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is the best duo in the league, no doubt. And they've been very unable to get those two guys the football. I understand that they have Jake Browning as the quarterback. That coaching staff has got to be scheming and plotting every possible way to get the ball in those guys' hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't go games where Jamar Chase has 2 catches. That can never happen. T. Higgins is not involved at all. Like that, they will be finding creative ways to get those guys the football. I think they're going to be able to score a time or two. I don't think they're going to put up 3 like they did against Denver, but I also think that the Lions are going to put up way more points than the 28 that Denver did.
What if they just are berating Jake Browning the entire game?
They probably will.
I think they crossed the 50 more than once, but I really wouldn't be surprised if it was another performance where this team, the opponents can't eclipse 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to be shocked at all if they scored 7 points or 6 points or 10 points in this game.
Potentially. I wouldn't. I
the
think
offense sucks, man.
It does, but it still has the playmakers. And I can't sit here and be like, an NFL coaching staff isn't going to like do some different stuff to try to get those 2 guys the ball.
Well, they haven't yet.
Right.
It's been 2 straight weeks of Jamar Chase and
then
T.
you have
Higgins not getting the ball.
They play against Minnesota 2 weeks ago, and Browning just gives the ball to the defense. Like he has the ability to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
3 picks and a fumble in the first half. Like the Vikings scored 2 defensive touchdowns in the first half of that game.
The same guy.
It's the same guy, yeah. Like the Lions are fully capable of doing that. Now, we don't know the status 100% on Kirby Joseph yet, which if there's going to be anybody to score 2 touchdowns on defense, it's for sure him. So you'd love to get him back, but also, I don't know, isn't this kind of one of those times where you're like, we can probably get away with Kirby Joseph getting the extra rest that he needs this week, right? Isn't this kind of one of those games?
Yeah.
I'm not saying sit Kirby Joseph, but like if he is banged up and he didn't practice yet this week, or he didn't practice yesterday at least, if you don't feel great about it, like this is kind of one of those games you feel like you can get away with it in.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's just not a thing in the NFL. Like if a guy can play, you usually just play him. But this Bengals team is so bad, and the Lions are going to be able to put up so many points that you're right. They probably could get away with just throwing Avonte Maddox out there with Brian Branch.
And we're going to get to see Amik Robertson on the outside this week.
Excited about that.
Especially against doing it against Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. I think that's very exciting.
We're waiting on Terrion Arnold's first pick of his career. I think that could come this week. He got one, Brian Branch. There was an unnecessary roughness, so it got taken off the board a couple weeks back.
That's right.
But I think this is another game where Hutchinson could have a really monster game, force a couple fumbles, have a couple sacks.
He is. The pressures are going to be double digits this week for him.
It's truly amazing to me that Joe Burrow comes into the league, is this monster right out of the gate, and they have done nothing to improve that offensive line for 5 straight years. It's mind-boggling. It really is. How are you continuing to let this be a problem?
And the defense is terrible on top of it too.
It's like they have gotten worse. It's not like they've gotten worse. They have.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, their defense was it was awesome.
It was the reason they went to the Super Bowl.
Like obviously they had Burrow and Chase, but their defense was sick, and that is just obviously not the case anymore.
And now they have Trey Hendrickson, and that's it. That is
Shamar Stewart
who hasn't practiced at all this week.
That's a good point.
989-837-6125. Speaking of injuries, There's one Detroit Lion who's been on the on the injury report the entire season. He's practiced every game, or he's played every game, hasn't quite practiced really at all. It's starting to get kind of concerning. I feel like this guy's going to suit up on Sunday. He is. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to play on Sunday. But the long-term issue is starting to raise concerns for me. I'll tell you who that is when we come back. The 10 o'clock hour here on the Ben Bosscher Show is brought to you by Corning, a global leader in material science right here in Midland. From the glass in your smartphone to innovations that power clean energy and advanced medicine, Corning is shaping the future. But it's not just about the tech, it's about the people. Corning invests in the community, supports local schools, creates opportunities close to home. With a legacy of innovation and commitment to what's next, Corning is proud to call Midland a part of its story. Corning, creating life-changing innovations one breakthrough at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Broken appliance? Don't panic. Call Mr. Appliance. With a 4.9-star Google rating, our expert service professionals deliver speedy service with a 1-year done-right promise, so you can count on long-lasting repairs. We treat your home or business with care, no mess, and no trace left behind. Ask about our appliance wellness program to keep things running smoothly year-round. Visit us online at MrAppliance.com for easy online scheduling and local contact information. Mr. Appliance, speedy, trusted, guaranteed.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Got house projects you push till the fall? Get the right tools. Select Milwaukee Power Tools. Buy one, get one free, including the brushless drill and impact driver kit. Keep that deck looking brand spanking new. Save $5 instantly on Thompson's Water Seal Wood Sealer and $10 on a gallon of cabinet exterior stain. And download the Ace app and get a $10 instant bonus.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mid. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mid is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mid. Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
(989-837-6125). Taylor Decker has been dealing with a shoulder injury all season long, and that's not a surprise. He really hasn't practiced at all on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays, and usually there for the Friday or Saturday walkthrough, and then plays on game day. And it's not even like a limited practice thing. He just straight up doesn't practice. Well, Pride of Detroit and Jeremy.com had a little piece on this last night, and I thought it was
Jeremy.com?
Jeremy Reisman from prideofdetroit.com. Excuse me. He had a piece on this, and I thought it was fascinating, but also extremely concerning in terms of the long run. Now, it feels like this is going to be a normal. Remember how Frank Ragnow last year, really for the last 3 years, just he didn't really practice, right? It was veterans rest stuff. He was dealing with the toe injury, the back injury. It felt like by the end of the season, he had a knee, toe, foot, arm, shoulder, everything injury. And Decker is kind of approaching that at kind of a young age. He's a lot younger than people necessarily realize. Taylor Decker is 32. Okay, he's a little bit older than I thought. Ragnow retired at 29, which is kind of crazy. But Decker's 32, and he's dealing with this shoulder thing that, based on this piece that Reisman had yesterday, it's just not going away. This is going to be something that lingers all season. So it's not going to surprise me if Taylor Decker is not really a participant in practice ever, which is probably good for Giovanni Manu in the long term of things. He's going to get a lot of run. But that's not the concerning part to me, though. Like, if they need to do that to preserve him in the long run, that's totally fine. It was some of these other quotes that he had that I thought were pretty alarming in terms of the long run for this team. So let's go over a couple of these quotes, because I was a little afraid last night reading these. Taylor Decker said, quote, "If you asked me going into week 1, I was like, I'm done. I didn't want to do the same work just because of how I was feeling." He's talking about retiring, like prior to week 1. It's like, what the hell? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Quote, "I think it's something that I'm going to have to deal with for a good portion of the year, but we have a plan in place right now. We do have a plan in place of what we're going to do moving forward to try to mitigate having to deal with it. Because I don't think whatever the plan has to be, that's fine. But I don't want to not have to practice and not be able to do this, all the lifts, because I need to do it the entire season." Okay, look, I guess all these quotes put together makes me think like, oh, he actually did consider retiring with Ragnow this past offseason. And he's a new father, like he's a dad. He got his money. He got paid last offseason, remember that? I don't love some of these quotes, man. And I know Decker has regressed here in the last year, but he had a great performance against the Browns. Like Myles Garrett, yeah, he had a couple pressures, but he didn't have a sack, and that's ultimately a win if you're a defensive or offensive tackle. If Myles Garrett's not getting a sack, you won. That's concerning, man, because the Lions don't really have a backup tackle that you feel good about. I mean, Manu, it was drafted to be that guy. He's not ready. Like, are they going to have to spend a first-round pick on a tackle?
Probably. I mean, what I was going to say is I don't think there's many teams in the league that have a lot of backup tackles
no, you're right.
feel good about. So that is a little bit of a silver lining there. But, yes, you're right in the fact of, like, wait, so you're telling me there was a scenario that Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker just maybe up and retired this past offseason together?
Yeah, like this shoulder injury seems for real.
Yeah, and I think, and he said also, I saw a quote that he has been like taking advice from Frank Ragnow, because obviously they're like best buddies, just about this situation, because it's what Ragnow's done the last several seasons. I mean, even like 2 or 3 years ago, Ragnow never practiced on Wednesday or Thursday.
Nope.
Like, ever. And then he would sometimes practice. Last year, he just didn't practice ever at all. But, so yeah, he's at that stage of his career where if you aren't tapped in with the Lions and you're an opponent of the Lions and you look at the injury report, you're like, oh, is who's going to start at tackle this week for the Lions? It's like, well, it's going to be Decker. He just doesn't practice. So
yeah, because if you're in another team, you look at the report, it's like, oh, Decker didn't practice all week.
This happened with Cleveland the guy who we talked to from Cleveland last week, remember? Or no, it was the Ravens guy. The Ravens guy, yeah, he was like the Taylor Decker injury, and we're like, no, he'll play. He is hurt though, yeah. So it's for sure concerning, because that's been what is, the key to this team for the last several seasons in the era of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. It all starts with the offensive line, and losing Ragnow a year ago. Decker, who obviously has regressed in the last couple seasons, but still is obviously much better than any other current option that they have. So
still the second best guy on this line.
Of course, yes. Like, he's still, as much as he's regressed because of how good he once was, So I think that's more so a compliment to him than anything else. Yeah, I think that this upcoming season, and I don't want to look ahead to the offseason or anything, but you're right. Like, spending a first-round pick on an offensive tackle is probably a priority. And you don't really see a lot of tackles go assuming the Lions will be picking in the late first round again. The
32nd.
The tackles go in the early to mid first round usually. And then, obviously there is some taken in the end of the first round, but this could be an aggressive Brad Holmes situation once again, you know?
You know what it's going to be? Sorry. You know what it's going to be? I don't know how I do that like twice a week. It's going to be a Chiefs situation where they're going to have to take someone who falls because of an injury concern. Like they did with Josh Simmons.
Yeah.
And it totally did with Josh Simmons. And Brad Holmes has shown
yes.
Brad Holmes has shown he's not afraid to take a guy who's banged up and has a bad injury report.
Right.
He did it with J-Mo. He did it with Josh Paschal, even way back when. He did it with
Rakestraw.
Yeah, and it's Rakestraw had an injury, which that one is kind of the lone one that hasn't really worked out. But yeah, he's shown he's willing to take a risk on guys who have had some injury concerns in college. Yeah, I did not love some of these Decker quotes, and now that we kind of have an understanding of, all right, this isn't just like something that he's dealing with right now. This is probably going to be something that he's dealing with the entire season with his shoulder, and the fact that he's already kind of thought about retiring and dealing just saying, you know what, I'm done.
You should probably look at this like this is his final season, right? I feel like they should prepare for that scenario.
Yeah, because the last thing you want
is another Frank Ragnow situation.
Yeah, where he waits it out, where it's well beyond free agency, and it's like, hey, I'm considering retiring. It's like, all right, we kind of have to take 2 interior offensive linemen now because we missed out on free agency.
Right, and also you can get away with taking interior offensive linemen down the board in the draft, and they work out.
The tackles go fast.
You can't, man. They go fast. It's just a much more premium position. If you get tackles in the later rounds, they're major project players, Giovanni Manu. Whereas the guards, a lot of them can just pop right away, like a Mahogany or a Ratledge or even a Frazier that they thought might have been able to do so. So, yeah, you're going to have to prepare for this situation. I think it's just smart to prepare for the likely chance that he does retire this offseason.
That is not great news if you're a Lions fan. Luckily, if you're a Lions fan, if I had to guess, they are going to beat the absolute crap out of the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. 10.5-point spread. We all took that yesterday in our spread picks. Is this a back-to-back weeks that you're going to suggest alt line? Because I'm willing to jump in.
I think I'm
20.5.
I'm big on the alt line. Like I love doing alt spreads because I just think it's if you're really confident about a team winning by a ton or a team that is heavy underdogs winning the game, I'm all in on the alt spreads.
So how far are you willing to tease it up?
Because I think I'm going further than I did last week. I think I'm getting into the 20s this week. Last week I was at 16.5. It almost looked like it was going to be perfect when the game was 27-10 for the longest time, and then obviously the Lions added another score. This week, I do think the Bengals will score more than 10, like the Browns did. I don't
know, not much more.
I think they will score more than 10, but I think the Lions will score much more than they did.
Are you with me that they're going to put up 50 and potentially break their franchise record?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, that's going to happen.
You don't have to
crazy thing to say.
Yeah, but
it could happen.
I kind of think it's possible.
If there was a game on the schedule this year for it to happen with how good this offense is, it's for sure this week. So would 42-14 shock anyone?
No.
I know the stigma of saying Lions minus 27.5 sounds crazy.
So does 5 touchdowns score parlay.
But then when I tell you, would 42-14 shock you? No, it wouldn't. That's 28-point victory.
I mean,
I'm not doing Lions minus 27.5. I think 19.5 is probably where I do it at to play safe.
What do you think 19.5 is? I've got the alt spreads pulled up.
Probably plus 275.
That's really good. Plus 285. Which is almost crazy in its own that you don't even get 3-1 odds.
Yeah, but it's
to beat a team by
20 points.
Yeah.
then you boost it, and all of a sudden it's plus 370 and you're feeling good. So, yeah, I think I boosted up to 20 points this week. And maybe I do something stupid and go 24.5.
Do it. I'm all in on a complete massacre
of
the Cincinnati Bengals in their home stadium.
Like I told you, I'm pretty big on if any time there's a public favor as heavy as it is, I'm usually against it. This is one of those times I'm just not. 90% of the spread bets are on the Lions this week, which is unheard of.
They beat the hell out of their opponents when they're inferior.
It's also moved 2 points as well, so Vegas fears it. It'd be different if the line had not moved at all. Then I'd be a little sketched out by it. Vegas is obviously trying to adjust it as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a beatdown.
989-837-6125. Do you believe the Lions can massacre this Bengals team? Because I do. I really think that 55 points, the franchise record, could be shattered on Sunday. 989-837-6125. Your dream lawn, Serminski Sod can Roll that out, literally. Locally grown, top-quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard show stoppers. They've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they're experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your whole yard, Stravinsky delivers lush, green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. Don't settle for increase the value of your home and get the lawn that your neighbors will envy with Stravinsky sod. You know, I kind of love mowing the lawn these days, you know? I'm a renter, but my landlord just gave me a lawnmower. He's like, here. Like, okay. Like, I look forward to it every
nice.
week.
You know, you have to supply your own mower.
No, I look forward to it every week.
October, man. Still mowing the lawn here in early October. It's been a hot one lately.
No complaints over here. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Leaky gutters?
No problem.
Shabby shingles?
We got this.
Remodeling?
Yup, that too.
Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair, your roof, gutter, and remodeling experts.
Any job, anywhere. Bresky can do it all.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your roofing and gutter needs.
Call my dad, 989-529-8167.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits. That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5. That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit MidlandFoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at MidlandFoundation.org.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
Let's go! Get him going!
Mondays this football season when you want the NFL.
I got your back! I got your back! I got your back! I got your back! We're calling it a Super Bowl.
It's right here.
Let's make this thing happen. Come on.
We've got Monday Night Football all season long.
We got a big one coming up, guys.
The Jaguars have a better record than the Chiefs. Wow. They clash on M&F. Coverage starts 7:30, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Right here on Sports Radio 100.9, The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes lose.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, we're reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Listen up, parents, teachers, counselors, coaches. Your boys just turned 18, but they need one more push. Don't let them forget to register with the Selective Service System. It's required by law, and it can open up the door to many federal benefits. Visit sss.gov.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
(989-837-6125). Let's take a timeout from the Lions and Tigers and take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle.
All right, Ben.
What do we got in store today? First of all, I just want to say this before we jump into around the league. The 49ers paying Brock Purdy looks so stupid right now after Mac Jones with no receivers and without George Kittle and all their top weapons other than Christian McCaffrey. If Mac Jones can run that offense, the Kyle Shanahan offense, that is really supposed to be quarterback proof. Just go run the system. Don't try to do too much. If he can do it with the lack of all those weapons, then paying Brock Purdy is looking dumber and dumber and dumber by the second. And it is going to sink this San Francisco team. Even though they're 4-1, probably going to be in the playoffs, they still can get healthy and have some real success this year. I think paying Brock Purdy is a detriment to that team because it's just unnecessary money if Mac Jones can do the job the exact same way.
Yeah, they've gotten themselves into like a bit of a sticky situation. And it's not like a bad one to be in, I guess, because at the end of the day you're choosing between two guys that I think are fine. Like but the money situation makes it really weird. Like what do you do with Brock Purdy? You don't trade him. No one's trading for that deal.
No one's trading for him, yeah.
But he's not like a bad quarterback, though, I don't think. Like
no.
He's not a backup. He's for sure a starting quarterback in the league. I think a lot of teams on paper.
Is he, or is he just in Kyle Shanahan's offense? Because we see this time and time again. Our quarterback ends up playing for McVay, playing for Shanahan, playing for Kevin O'Connell, and they're the best version of themselves.
True. But I do think that there are teams in the league that would love to have Brock Purdy as their quarterback.
Who? The Saints? It's not changing them.
I guess you know
Panthers,
what I mean. Though they'd
them.
rather have Brock Purdy than their starting quarterback. He's better than a lot of other starting quarterbacks in the league.
Like who?
Like both of those teams you just named.
Yeah, but it's like the problem
Who cares
is
that it's not changing them? That's what I'm telling you is he's a better quarterback than a lot of other quarterbacks.
But the problem
Mac
is
Jones
he's not
isn't changing anything either.
The problem is though he's not enough of a difference maker to pay him all that money.
I agree.
So it just looks like a terrible contract right now.
It does, yes. And I don't know what their plan is. Their plan is probably just as simple as once he's healthy, he's the starter again because he's making that much money. And
yes.
Mac Jones is here for a year, and then maybe some team buys the bait and he's a starter for somebody else next year. We'll see.
All right, I just needed to get that off my chest. Let's do the teams this weekend that are under the most pressure. Go ahead, you kick us off. What NFL team's under the most pressure this week? Pressure cooker.
I have a really stupid one. I think the Minnesota Vikings are under a lot of pressure this week for a handful of reasons. The first of those being the Cleveland Browns are trotting out their 41st starting quarterback since 1999 when they returned to the league. 41 starting quarterbacks across 26 years.
The stat blows my mind every time.
It's unreal. Name all of them. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But it's...
Do you think we can name 10?
Of course we could. They've had 10 of them in the last 4 years. Anyways, so that's one thing. Dylan Gabriel is like truly, obviously not a long-term answer here for Cleveland, but who knows? Maybe he pops off. Minnesota also is coming off of a loss against a Steelers team that you were favored in going in. But the big part is that they're back-to-back Europe games or international games, whatever you want to call it. Dublin last week. They're in London this week. All the signs point towards Minnesota having should be destroying them in this game, right? They don't have to have that extra travel that Cleveland does. You're already there. You're accustomed to it. You're coming off of a loss. You're playing a Cleveland team that truly should never win with Dylan Gabriel as making his first career start. I think they're under a ton of pressure this week because obviously McCarthy's going to come back at some point, so maybe that takes away some of the pressure because you have Carson Wentz as your starting quarterback. But the division's heating up. The Bears have been winning some games. You don't want to fall fourth in there, so I would say they're under some pressure.
Yeah, my only counter argument would be I just don't even expect them to really win games if Carson Wentz is their quarterback. Like, how can a team with a backup quarterback be under pressure? Like, you're not really expected to win those games.
Yeah, but
right?
you're expected to win this game. You're playing a worse backup quarterback. You know, they beat the Bengals up when they have their backup quarterback. Like,
yeah.
I guess it's just
right.
It's important to win these games because obviously we know that the NFC North team's schedules are not easy this year. And the fact that you have Bengals-Browns right away, just like the Lions do, while you have your backup quarterback in, you got to get the wins now while you can. Because coming up after this, you want to hear the Vikings' upcoming schedule?
Give it to me.
Eagles, Chargers, Lions, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Seahawks, Commanders. I could keep going.
Oh, my God.
It's brutal. It gets so, like, I could continue to go. The rest of their schedule after this point is really tough. So,
all right, you've
that's why
convinced
this is
me.
important.
You've convinced me. Vikings are under pressure this weekend. A little pressure at 9:30 a.m. I'll go the Houston Texans. They're probably playing Cooper Rush. Lamar Jackson did not practice yesterday, so it looks like they're going on the road to take on another backup quarterback. If the Texans lose this one, they're probably done. That Ravens offensive line obviously has not been up to par this season, not up to standard for that Baltimore team. And now Cooper Rush is back there. Look, I know Cooper Rush has had a pretty good career for himself over in Dallas when he's had to back up Dak Prescott. But for him to go in there with this offensive line that's underperformed against this Texans pass rush, this is a recipe for Houston to get back on top. If Houston still cannot put up any sort of points and their defense struggles and they move to 1-4, wrap it up. Like, I still have a little bit of faith in Houston, despite them being one of the teams that has struggled immensely for the first portion of this season, for the first month. This is not the start I thought they'd get themselves out to, and obviously this team has some major issues. But I still hold on a little hope that they can figure this thing out and put together an 8-9, 9-8 record by the end of the year and be fighting for maybe first place in the AFC South, depending on how hot the Jaguars and Colts can stay, because I don't think anyone's projecting them to be like 12-win teams or 13-win teams.
Right, but one of them might be at this rate, you know?
Right. If Houston can't pick up a win here against Cooper Rush, all that seems like it's thrown out the window. So I think Houston's under more pressure than anybody this weekend, even though they're on the road.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, just the fact that the Ravens are so banged up and looking like to be without Lamar makes it tough. Is there pressure on the flip side for Baltimore? I mean, just nonetheless, obviously Lamar's not playing, but starting 1-4 as a team like the Ravens, who we were touting as the best team in the league, like
there is
1-4 is so hard to come back from.
But I go back to my point of, like, if your backup quarterback's in, I just don't think you're expected to win, and for that reason, I don't think, like, there's pressure on them for that reason that you mentioned, but they're underdogs in this game, you know. So
the Ravens' schedule does ease up like a little bit. They do have to play the Rams next week, which obviously is going to be a really tough game. But after the Rams game, their schedule for sure eases up. Like, they could go. I mean, they do this every year. Like last year, they did this. They go on a huge run.
1-4 is, you might not be able to bounce back from 1-4.
1-4 is really tough to come back. The Rams were 1-3 last year and came back, but not 1-4.
At the same time, if Lamar's healthy, I'm picking them over anyone in the division head to head, and they're 1-0 in the division. So
yeah, that's the thing. They still get to play the Steelers twice, which those teams split every single season. So maybe that's a bad comparison, but yeah, I think that's a good one. I think on the side of injuries, while we're talking about that, this isn't. I don't know how much pressure there specifically is, but with the Chiefs starting to figure some stuff out, with the Broncos having a little bit of a pick-me-up these last couple weeks, I think there's a ton of pressure on the Chargers this week against the Commanders to, like, can they actually get it done with this offensive line being banged up? Because I think what we saw from the first 4 weeks, or I guess the first 3 weeks, last week was different, with this passing attack was like, this is a different Chargers offense this year. It for sure is. Jim Harbaugh's obviously been always the big run guy, but their passing game was elite. And last week, Joe Alt goes down. It's a good Giants pass rush. They get to him. The offense stifles all game long, and they lose. Now you're going up against a Commanders team that has Jaden Daniels coming back healthy. With the Chiefs getting better, with the Broncos getting better, I still like the Chargers the most out of this division, but this week is really telling about what to look for going forward with Los Angeles. So it's not really more so pressure is on them, but like this tells a lot of how the rest of their season is going to go, I think.
Yeah, I like that pick. I thought you were going Chiefs there. based on the way you were setting that
Not really,
one
because
up.
I just feel like if the Chiefs lose this, it's like
They'll be fine.
they'll be fine. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. And also, like, are they going to lose this?
No.
Yeah.
All right, I like that one. I'll go one more here. I think the Broncos are under a lot of pressure if they want to actually show the rest of the league that they're not just like a team that could squeak into a wild card. And this is an opportunity to do it. You're playing this Eagles team, obviously one of the best teams. In my opinion, it is the best team in the league. If the Broncos just get blown out here and Bo Nix looks terrible, which honestly I kind of think is going to happen against this Eagles defense that I think is just the best in the league, then I think we have to stop talking about the Broncos as like, yeah, but what, like, look at this defense. It doesn't matter if their quarterback's not going to play very well against other great defenses. So this is an opportunity for Bo Nix to show, hey, I'm not just some guy who belongs at the bottom of all these quarterback rankings. I'm a guy who belongs somewhere in the middle or towards the top 10, not necessarily in the top 10, but on the good half of the league. And if that doesn't happen, then I think I'm good on calling the Broncos like a threat in the AFC.
Okay. I like it. I think it's a good one.
And those are our pressure cooking teams heading into week 5. 989-837-6125. The Tigers, well, they have to beat Seattle, in my opinion, for this season to be determined a success. If they don't, well, if we're talking a game of black and white, I'd say it's a failure. That's coming up when we come back. 989-837-6125. Spherion, they do the heavy lifting for you when you need to hire fast. And they get you great candidates without the hassle. Their simple online hiring platform makes it easier than ever to find the right employees quick and fast. Post jobs, review applicants, and connect with top talent all from your phone or computer. Whether you're staffing short-term projects or building the dream team, Spherion has your back. Get back to running your business while Spherion handles the hiring headache. Hiring made simple, smart, and online. That is Spherion, and this is the Ben Bosscher Show here on The Mitt on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate it here at The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Looking for a job can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. But at Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, they've got the magnet. Whether you're looking for steady work in manufacturing, a fresh start in the office, or the right people to grow your business, they make the match simple. Local recruiters, real relationships, and opportunities that fit you. That's the Spherion difference. Find your perfect fit today. Visit Spherion.com/Midland. Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, where opportunity works.
I'm here with Matt Smith with Modern Realty. All right, Matt, forecast 2025 for us.
Well, in 2025, I believe you're going to see a much more balanced market. We've been in a seller's market for a number of years. We're still not busting at the seams with inventory, but we are seeing the market start to balance out a little bit. That means it's still a really good time to get great value out of your home. But for the buyers out there, it also means that your path to home ownership should be a little bit easier.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. As a business owner, you might be struggling with today's technological advancements in the IT arena and how they could benefit your growing business. Let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
We got a game, boys! This week on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football showcases the best team in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. They welcome the 2-2 New England Patriots to Orchard Park. Coverage is at 7:30, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
On Wednesday, October 8th, we're sending someone to East Lansing for their matchup against UCLA. On Saturday, October 11th, first chance to go see Aiden Childs and Nick Marsh go take on another Big Ten school. Big Win Wednesday, every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I think the Tigers have to win here against Seattle this series for the Tigers season to be considered a success. They had one more win in this regular season. They did not hang a banner. They won a wild card series. That's exactly what they did last year. And if they don't take a step forward, which would mean winning an additional series, winning their second series, then I don't know how they got any better. And if that's the case, then this isn't an improved team, and it's not a successful season. Now, look, I don't mean to burst the bubble of the celebration that was the victory yesterday for the Tigers. And they certainly celebrated too. But now, look, it's the next day. It's back to work. They got a game tomorrow night. And if they are going to just get their butts kicked in this series, then at the end of the day, as fun as this wild card was and burying the demon that was the Cleveland Guardians, as fun as that was as well, it's not going to mean anything if they don't beat Seattle here.
I think I relatively agree with you. But I do think that if I would 100% agree with you if you had just beaten, Boston in the wild card series or somebody. Okay, whatever. Let's try to improve from last year. But I truly do believe the beating Cleveland part of it makes I saw a YouTube chat earlier. Let me find it here. Yeah. Now that the Tigers won that series, I don't even care what happens from here on out. Anything more they can give us will be a nice bonus. They absolutely needed to beat Cleveland in Cleveland.
That's bogus though. That's a bad mindset to have. You can't just be content with the season now. They didn't even win the division. Yeah, they sent the division champs home packing. If the Tigers lose to Seattle, guess what? Cleveland got to hang a banner this year and the Tigers didn't. Let's go hang a banner. That's how this season's successful. You win the AL. And I'm not even saying you got to do that. You don't win a banner
if you beat Seattle. You don't hang that.
Exactly. And I'm not even saying you have to win hang a banner for the season to be successful. You just have to beat Seattle. It's plain and simple. Win 3 more games and you took a step further than you did last year. I don't want to be complacent and content with having the exact same season, because right now that's all it really is. even though they had an awesome celebration and won their wild card matchup and beat the team that has been the monkey on their back for 5 years now. All that stuff is great and should be recognized. But for them to have that first half and then blow the division to not be able to hang that banner and beating Cleveland in the series, it makes up for the blown division, I guess, but that doesn't make it a successful season when you consider what they did last year. They won a series. Right. They brought it to 5 games in the ALDS. They got to do that again and then win an additional game for this season to be considered better than last year. I don't even know how that's up for debate.
No, you're right. You're right. But I don't see, to me, like, if you saying it's not a success, does that mean it's a failure? Is there not a middle ground? If you go to 5 games with Seattle, who's clearly a better team than you, like, are we really going to be like, man, what a failure of a season? Like, I struggle to do that. This is a team that didn't go to the playoffs for 10 straight seasons. And now we've gone back-to-back, and not only gone back-to-back, but won a series in back-to-back playoffs. Like, that's something to be at least a little bit proud of and be like, okay, that is, like, we will take that.
Yes. I agree with you. It's not a black and white situation. And you're right, like, winning a series back-to-back years, it's something to hang your hat on. But I believe in progression. I
do too. I get it.
Like, you have to progress in some way every year. Otherwise, who are you other than a team that makes the playoffs every year and gets bounced? Like,
yeah, you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Correct. You know what I was going to say. Yeah, like, it's not a black and white conversation, but if we're going to make it one, then yeah, I would say it's a failure. Like, I would lean more on that side than I would on the success side.
I think it's fair.
But
I get it. I understand.
There are gray areas to this.
Yeah.
And you covered those.
It's different than, like, this Seattle team is good. You know, that's just a part, like, they're not favored to beat Seattle. The Tigers' offense still really can't score runs. They did yesterday. That's the first time they did it in, 20 days?
It's the first time they scored 5 runs since September 10th.
Right. So for us just to expect that to now be a thing again, I think is pretty wishful thinking, especially against a really good Mariners pitching staff that also has the offense to match it and help it. So I think there's things you can look forward to in this series. The fact that Tarek Skubal will likely pitch twice, I think, is something to look forward to. I also think the fact that Seattle has made the playoffs 5 times in their 50 years of being a franchise is pretty helpful. Like, this is the most, like, tormented MLB franchise of all. So that helps for sure.
John told me that they brought in Ichiro Suzuki to help them do scrimmages this week because they didn't know how to just sit around during the bye.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is uncharted territory. I mean, they won a playoffs. 3 years ago? They won a playoff series for the first time in 20 years. It was just like the Lions, like, hadn't won a playoff game in 30 years. Like, they had the longest playoff drought in the MLB. Like, this is a team that does not play baseball in October. 5 playoff appearances in nearly 50 years of being a franchise. Wild. It's unreal. So at least the Tigers have that on their, to look at. Like, okay, we're not some tormented franchise like they are. Now, they're a better team on paper. They have Cal Raleigh, probably the MVP of the league. He's going to be tough to pitch against, of course. You're not going to out-homer Seattle, and we've talked about the out-homering, how important it is. So there's things to look at and be confident in, but it's a long road ahead for sure.
You know what I do want to bring up at least once here before we send everyone into the weekend at noon? Somewhat of a reunion for Tarek Skubal, too. This is where he pitched in college. He said he should expect a lot of friends and family to be at these games. So
that's right, Seattle U.
Seattle U. So Tarek Skubal going back, not home, but in a way, like, where his career really took off.
Yeah, he's a California kid, though, correct?
I thought he was an Arizona kid.
You're right. He is Arizona, yes.
Yeah. But still, a cool scene for him.
Totally.
I think it should be fun. It should be fun. So that series starts at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. They'll play again on Sunday. And then home games on Tuesday, and then, if necessary, Wednesday. And then I believe that series finale is on Friday against in Seattle.
I believe so.
So, huge series. This is going to be a nuts Saturday. We've got Michigan State, Tigers, and then Lions and Tigers on Sunday. This weekend in general is just, hey, you said, I don't know if
you said you said it was a 10 last weekend, though, so this obviously can't be a 10 then, no matter what, right?
Why not? I think it might be, though.
That's why you don't give it a 10, man.
If the Tigers win both games, the Lions win, Michigan and Michigan State both win,
And the Chippewas win.
And the
Chippewas, you know.
Be good stuff. It'd be good stuff.
It would be good. That may be a 9.9.
You'll never give out a 10, will you?
Maybe, I don't know, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, that weekend's probably a 10, you know?
But nothing else is going on.
I could care less if nothing else is going on. I think you could probably agree.
Sure. 989-837-6125. Hey, Chris Ilitch, owner of the Detroit Tigers, actually made some comments regarding a Tarek Skubal conversation, a Tarek Skubal contract extension, and a World Series. We'll get to some of those when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mid.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mid Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
Well, a couple things I'll mention. One I'm really proud of is the work we've done on post-secondary education, because when we think about what really transforms an individual's life, it's education. That makes such a difference in the ability to be able to have a livable wage, to be able to contribute to your community, to be able to give back. So the work that we've done in the post-secondary space, because we give out a lot of scholarships, but when I got there, I went, it seems like we're just a processor of scholarships. I want to be a promoter of education.
Yeah. Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mid. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Hey sports fans, heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan, featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh? Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10. Or at PremierTileStone.com.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Nine 837-6125. Welcome into the 11 o'clock hour here of the Ben Bosscher Show. As always, brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Protect your home with Yiter, because life happens fast. And at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like a family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people who can actually talk to you. Yiter Insurance Group will be here when you need us since 1940. All right, Kyle. We actually heard from Chris Ilitch yesterday. I didn't know if he still existed. I didn't even know if he went to these games or anything. But we actually heard him speak yesterday. He sure took part in that celebration that happened after the game in the clubhouse down in Cleveland. And he had some interesting comments regarding Tarek Skubal extension, regarding a World Series. And for the first time, really ever, he made me feel better about Tarek Skubal staying in Detroit. Now, it wasn't much. It wasn't like where he openly said on the microphone, like, hey, Tigers, they are going to re-sign. Like, we're going to do everything we can to sign Skubal. This was a very small victory. But he did say something along the lines of, we want to win a World Series. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be next year. But we're very focused on one. He didn't really have too much to say about the Skubal thing other than, again, doubling down on, we are trying to win a World Series. And for the first time, it's a small victory, but I was like, you know what? That sounds like someone who really wants to re-sign Tarek Skubal.
I'm sure he really wants to. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. I think everybody would want to re-sign that guy. Now, will he actually do it? I still think the odds are pretty low on that. But I think that the reason why I guess it is encouraging is a typical answer you would have expected from him would have been,
we don't talk about that.
I'm just really happy that we got this win tonight. You know, like if he would have just completely dodged it and been like, I just want to celebrate with the team. Like what a awesome game tonight to win this series. That would have been like the dodging the question answer. It's still pretty dodgy, like at the end of the day. Of course, yeah, we want to win a World Series pretty bad. We're excited about the next, like whether we do it this year or not, like we really want to win one. Of course you really want to win one.
Yeah, but I almost think it was like the brutally honest part of maybe this year, maybe not, but we're going to keep after it. I like this group of guys, and I like the young guys we've got coming. Like the brutally honest, like maybe we don't win it this year, makes me feel like they're going to try to keep this thing together.
Yeah, they're going to try to keep this thing together with all their good minor league teams, Ben. All those guys are going to come up to the majors at some point. You know, that's what that part's about. I don't think when I saw that quote, I didn't really think about it as like well, we're still going to have Tarek Skubal for many years to come, so we're going to have any chance. To me, it was they view the minor league system extremely high, probably higher than they view the major league team currently.
Probably higher than
at least
any
Scott
other.
Harris does.
Probably higher than any other organization views the Tigers minor league guys.
Probably. So that's what I read into that.
You didn't walk away from that feeling just a little bit better that they're going to re-sign Tarek Skubal?
Sure, I did, but I didn't walk away from it like feeling great. Like that wasn't my first takeaway. The takeaway I guess I got from it was the minor league players, more so than Skubal.
I would agree with you. Like, well, no, I think the biggest thing, because no one ever brought up the minor league guys, but I think that's something we've known for a long time, that Scott Harris is in love with these minor league guys. Like, pause. But he really wants to get McGonigal and Clark in here, and those are going to be the key parts to taking the next step forward. Because I think as much as Riley and Torkelson and Carpenter came through yesterday, everything that Scott Harris has preached about with this team is controlling the strike zone, having good quality at-bats. That's McGonigal and Clark. That's McGonigal specifically, and then they hope Clark can join that too. All the three pillars of the lineup right now, those are guys that Scott Harris didn't draft and aren't really disciplined with those things that he continues to preach. I think they love this duo that's on the rise in the minor league system, and those are going to be nice additions to this lineup, whether it's at the start of next year, the end of next year, or the year after. But at the end of the day, they need Skubal. Like, they don't win that series against Cleveland if they don't have Tarek Skubal, in my opinion. So they're going to need to re-sign this guy, and if he's going to keep saying our goal is to win the World Series, whether it's this year or next year or the year after, like if they're going to keep saying World Series over and over again, Tarek Skubal has to be a part of that. So it makes me think like they're going to try their best to get this thing done. And we saw them try their best to get Bregman in, and it wasn't enough. So I'm not all of a sudden like, oh, they're signing him, but it was an encouraging quote from him, and that's all you can really ask for a year before he's set to become a free agent.
I think that's fair. Here's a fun little nugget for you.
Sure.
Is it good or bad that the Tigers are, well, let me say this stat, and then you tell me if this is good or bad. The 4 teams left in the American League, right?
Mm-hmm.
The New York Yankees, 4th highest payroll in the MLB.
I knew this was where you were going.
The Toronto Blue Jays, 7th highest payroll in the MLB. Seattle Mariners, 12th highest payroll, but spent pretty heavily at the deadline. Like, that doesn't really tell the full them being 12th doesn't really tell the full story.
Tigers are 14th.
Bought at the deadline. Tigers are 14th, which, once again, like, we're not going to sit here and act like the Tigers don't spend at all. They just don't spend, like, with the top-tier teams in the American League. Is it good or bad in the mind of a Chris Ilitch that wow, we made it to the top 4 in the American League with all these other big spending teams and it didn't matter? Or is it like okay, we need to be with these teams in the pay? Like, it depends on what happens, obviously, but I don't know. I saw that and I was like, this is interesting, like it's 3 of the Seattle, not so as much, but I think that they probably are going to elevate themselves a little bit now that they have solidified themselves as true contenders. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I think it is ultimately a bad thing right now because he thinks he can probably just do it again.
Get away with it? Yeah.
But if they just get decimated here by New York and Judge or Seattle for that matter, then yeah, he's probably going to realize I have to spend a little bit more. So maybe that ends up being a good thing.
Right.
I think the real curse here is how poorly ran the rest of the teams in the AL Central are. Because the Tigers are the number 1 spender in the AL Central, even though they rank 14th across Major League Baseball.
Not even really. I mean, like Kansas City's 16th, and then other than that, the other 3 teams are bottom 5.
Yeah. I think that's actually a real detriment to the lack of spending from Chris Ilitch. He's like, why would I spend when we can win the division, which I know they didn't, but when we can outplay these other teams in the division, like if no one else is in the division going to spend, why would I spend?
Well, and even if you take a grand scheme of look at just teams left in the playoffs, I mean, like them having success almost feeds into the Ilitch ideology, right?
Yeah,
or
they're dead last in spending.
If the Milwaukee Brewers go on, who actually are lower than the Tigers.
Oh, they are.
They're 17th, so it's close. But if Milwaukee goes on a run, and all of a sudden, in the mind of a Chris Ilitch, it plays into his philosophies, which obviously isn't great. But what, you're going to root against the Tigers just because their payroll's lower than these other teams? I mean,
no.
All the other teams left, Dodgers are 1, Phillies 3, Chicago's 5th. Like, all these teams that are still in, of course they're still in the playoffs because they spend. And so the Tigers, once again, I'm not saying they don't spend because they do. But it's just, when it comes to Tarek Skubal, it should be a no-brainer about spending for him. And to spend for him, you are going to be elevating yourself into a near top 10 payroll team in baseball, probably. And that's something that I feel most Tigers, like
$400 million
right,
coming.
That's something I feel most Tigers fans probably don't think is realistic. And I agree with them. So, I don't know. It's just, I look at this, I try to put myself in his brain because
in a billionaire's brain?
I try to put myself in pizza, hot and ready brain.
What would I do if I was a gajillionaire?
Probably pay Tarek Skubal, hey.
He is one of the 10 richest owners in the sport. Like, as much as we are convinced that he never spends anything, spend money on the home plate club.
I might get a hot and ready today, now that I'm thinking about it.
Really? Even though we grabbed some pizza yesterday?
Tigers won. Maybe a little bit of Chris Ilitch gives us a tiny quote that maybe makes you feel better.
Here's my
$8
to a $5 hot and ready pizza.
Here's my support. $8 to a $5.
I don't think they have that slogan anymore,
though.
That's good. Because it used to be the $5 hot and ready. I don't think they advertise it as that anymore.
I mean, that hasn't been a thing for 10 years.
Back in high school, when I was in high school,
it was like still always $6.
Yeah.
Was it ever even $5?
Now it's like near $8.
And then you have to get crazy bread. And then it's like, now I'm spending $11. Is this even really a deal at this point?
It's still
it probably
still a good
is,
deal.
but
it's still cheaper than most other pizzas.
Yeah. All right, enough of that talk.
All right. Hey, this Lions team I think is bound to set some records on Sunday. I do think that they end up destroying this Bengals team. But that's not what I want to talk about next. I want to talk about 2 Tigers that are potentially returning from injury. Could be a little boost to this lineup by the time they start playing Seattle on Saturday nights. 989-837-6125. Hey, if you're heading out of town this weekend, give your car the glow up it deserves at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Fast, friendly, and freakishly good at cleaning. Roll in dirty. Roll out sparkling. It's that easy. High-tech wash tunnels, eco-friendly soaps, and a ride that looks showroom fresh in just a few minutes. Sign up for the Unlimited Club and wash as often as you want because everybody knows clean cars just drive a little bit better. No appointments, no nonsense, just clean, quick, and kind of addictive. Tommy's Express Car Wash because your car called and it's begging for this. Locations in Midland, Saginaw, and Flint.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. This month's recipient is Max Stecker, from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower, and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program, visit 1009themit.com.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or pay-per wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text CLEAN CAR to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
(989-837-6125). Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone's going to have a fantastic weekend for themselves because we got Detroit Tigers baseball. And here's the thing. The Tigers might be getting a little boost back to their lineup here shortly because there's two players that weren't on the active roster, the 26-man roster for this wild card series, that potentially could be elevated. That would be Colt Keith, who's dealing with a little bit of rib injury, and then Matt Vierling, who's kind of just been dealing with a bunch of stuff all season long. It sounds like Colt Keith is probably going to be back on the roster by the time they announce the roster here for this series. You can only make adjustments to the roster in between the series. And it sounds like there's a chance Matt Vierling is there as well. I would imagine Trey Sweeney's not on the lineup card, or not on the roster anymore if one of those guys becomes healthy because, well, Trey Sweeney is the lone bat to not get any at-bats in this series, and I just have a hard time envisioning them throw him out there. And then I would guess Justin Henry Malloy is probably the other guy that ends up getting the short end of the stick if Vierling ends up coming back too. Those would be two nice boosts to the lineup because Matt Vierling, obviously a nice contributor last season. He's someone who can give the Tigers good at-bats, even if he's not going to be a starter here in the postseason. Like I kind of have a hard time envisioning him being a starter. But with that being said, like, he's a nice guy to come off the bench. Colt Keith, another guy who is a solid contributor. I know Zach McKinstry is a nice utility guy, but I think I'd probably rather have Colt Keith in the lineup and then use Zach however you need be off the bench. Either way, two nice additions potentially being added to the Tigers roster.
Yeah, if Colt Keith can come back, that's pretty huge. And Petzold made a piece on it after the game last night. And it's encouraging. It's nothing like set in stone or anything, because the fact that he was with the team and celebrating everything, and he had been kind of doing stuff pregame with the team despite not being on the roster, I think is important. Just kind of getting those reps in. In between Tuesday and Wednesday, A.J. Hinch said he wasn't sure if he would be ready to go by the ALDS if they got to that point. So that was before Game 2 had even happened. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that he will at least be – he'll be on the active roster, I think. I just don't know how, because you're just fine having Sweeney off the roster instead of Keith, right?
Sweeney's never going to get another at-bat for this team.
He's not going to play. So it's just like you might as well add Keith to the roster, and then if at some point – maybe he's not ready by Game 1 or 2, but when you come back to Detroit – then, with those extra couple days in, with that day off of travel, then maybe he's good by then. And if you don't make that decision beforehand, you can't add him in the middle of the series. It has to be in between series. So, nonetheless, I think he'll be for sure active on the roster.
Do you think Justin Henry Malloy is the other guy to get the boot from the roster? Or do you think Matt Vierling is just like, hey, man, we've done this without you. We don't need you really this year. I mean, he's barely played at all.
I do think there hasn't been much talk about it either. I think that's the part that kind of makes me hesitant on his return, just because there hasn't been a lot of discussion on, okay, can Matt Vierling join this playoff roster, whereas the Colt Keith discussion is obviously very ramped up because, one, I think he's just more important, but two, it's more likely to happen, whereas Vierling has just been banged up. I mean, you talked about it all season long, has struggled to stay with the Tigers for longer than like a 2-week period, basically, and we saw him get hot a little bit before he had that final injury that capped him out for the rest of the season. So if he were to come back, yes, I agree, Henry Malloy would be the guy that would go down just because he went a large chunk of the second half of the season without being with the Tigers. I still think he's a good pinch hit scenario guy. And Vierling brings the versatility. So if he is healthy, yes, I think you for sure add him to the roster. But him being healthy, I think, is kind of unlikely.
Do you know how many games he's played this year off the top of your head?
I was about to look it up, actually, and I'm happy that you did because I did kind of want to guess. I would say it's got to be south of 30. I would say 26 games.
31.
Okay,
close. He's on the team for 31 games, 617 OPS, so it hasn't been...
But it's such a small sample. Like, it's not one of those things that you're going to look at and be like, oh, he was terrible this season. No, he just never played.
But whose spot would he even take? Because Parker's good enough in the outfield to where you're not pulling him from the lineup.
He's not in the lineup. He's definitely not in the lineup.
I don't think he is either.
Even against a lefty, he's not in the lineup, I don't think, because Jahmai Jones is in the lineup against a lefty.
Yeah. And
you probably would rather have Ibanez in the lineup versus a lefty right now.
And even, his stuff versus a lefty, 744 OPS, 289 average.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's good, for sure.
It's not great, it's good.
But I just think you would rather have both of your lefty killers in Ibanez and Jahmai Jones out there. So it's just for the versatility aspect. He brings more of that than Henry Malloy does.
And I think A.J. Hinch just loves Wenzel Perez too much to take him out of the lineup. We saw it yesterday, and I guess it paid off. But Perez has had a really bad last month other than the hit he had yesterday.
Yeah, and it's just, he's the only switchy on the team, which I think totally plays into that because it elevates the lineup a little bit with how you can do all of your pinch hit things when different pitchers come in. So,
but Matt Vierling's also one of these guys that I like at the beginning of the lineup because he can work the count. He can have long at-bats, unlike Wenzel, who... I know he had the big hit yesterday, and we have to acknowledge that, but he has had some atrocious at-bats.
Yes, he has. I agreed. And putting him in the 3-hole was kind of surprising, but it obviously paid off. It paid off. So, and they needed to make a change yesterday, too. But Vierling was the leadoff guy versus lefties.
For a long time.
That was the plan for him all season, probably. And obviously, it didn't necessarily work out. I think there's a world where, like, against a lefty, McKinstry isn't in the lineup. I know that he's not, like, a super platoony guy, but...
No, he actually has better splits versus lefties.
Right, and so maybe they would keep him in, but he also isn't, I think, earned everyday status over his last, X amount of games or whatever. So it just brings an extra level of versatility that you'd like. I don't expect Vierling, though, his health-wise, just because we haven't really gotten anything that I'm sitting here like, okay, he'll for sure be back. If he is, I think it's an added bonus. You'd for sure rather have him than Henry Malloy. He's much more of a weapon. Keith, though, is the important part, and I'm interested to see how they work him back in because you would assume he just is playing third base every day, right? And then when a lefty's on the mound, he doesn't start. They do the Ibanez thing, and then he'll come into the game in the 4th inning or whatever.
Yeah, and anytime you need, like, I don't know, if a pinch hit scenario comes in and you need McKinstry to lay down a bunt, bring him in for Colt Keith. But I'd imagine you have to get Colt Keith in the lineup because he just brings a little bit more power than Zach McKinstry.
I mean, Colt Keith was the leadoff hitter for like 2 straight months when they were playing actually decent.
Versus righties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's an essential part of your lineup. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
And it's nothing against McKinstry, but that also, like, McKinstry off the bench allows you to pinch hit him anywhere in the lineup and substitute him in for anyone really throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
Like, he can go in anywhere and play anywhere in the field, which allows you to pinch hit him in any sort of scenario if you need someone to lay down a bunt. Because, shocker, guess who lays down the best bunts on the team? Zach McKinstry.
Correct.
Although Parker laid down a great one.
And that's where I was going next. Like, if Vierling does come back, it gives you the option not to have to play Parker every day. Like, I know for the defense...
Parker's been fine in the playoffs, by the way.
No, yeah, I'm not saying he has. I mean, he has, like, what, 2 hits?
He's been fine, yeah.
He's been okay. I don't think he's been anything that is, like, earned everyday status, though.
No.
You know? So, like, if Vierling is back, if a lefty's on the mound, you probably start Vierling out in center field, right? And then Meadows can come in at some point. Obviously, Vierling wouldn't play the whole game. So, it just adds an extra level that this team obviously is all about the versatility, and it would be nice to have that.
Parker's had 3 hits.
Yeah, that's good.
Not a lot of power and a walk.
It's good. Yeah,
he's been
fine,
okay
for sure, and he brings defense.
The question is just how healthy is Matt Vierling?
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't think anybody really knows because he's been dealing with like a handful of different stuff. That shoulder, remember? So that shoulder had kept him out, and then he came back, and then he kind of got pulled from the lineup once again. It was an injury that I don't necessarily think that everyone has a great idea of how long that was going to be because for a second there, remember, we thought Vierling might never come back.
Yeah.
In which, I mean, that kind of did happen.
Yeah, because the 30 games is it's 30 games spread out across the entire season. It's not like he missed like 6 months and then came back for a month.
Yeah.
It's truly the entire season just spread out. So I think that the telling part is the fact that Petzold made the piece talking about Colt Keith potentially returning, and there's no mention of Matt Vierling in it.
Yeah.
You know, if anyone's tapped in on it, it's him. And the fact that it wasn't even included, I think, is kind of telling.
We did get another injury update for a Detroit Lion. We'll hit that when we hit the news when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mid. Moving forward since 1925, that's the Forward Corporation, locally owned and family operated for nearly a century, serving communities across mid-Michigan. From convenience stores and fuel to restaurants and beyond, Forward is part of your everyday life. A company built on family values, community support, and commitment to doing things the right way. When you see the name Forward, you know you're keeping it local. Forward Corporation, proud to fuel, feed, and serve Michigan families.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Isaiah, how did you get all wet?
I was playing in the rain.
Son, you're in the house. It's not raining inside. Or is it?
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
What?
Oh no, the roof has a leak.
Leak? That's a waterfall.
We need that fixed now.
Bresky Siding and Building Repair can fix it.
What, son?
Any job, anywhere. Bresky can do it all.
Call Bresky right now and get that roof fixed. And while you're at it, have him fix the gutters.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mid Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
It's a group of people that come together to learn about and to provide input on things happening in our community. So our next upcoming time that we're together, we're talking about law enforcement. We're going to have our prosecutor and our sheriff and our police chief talking about what they're doing and then getting input from the group. So that's a wonderful way for people to come and learn and share their ideas. We've also partnered with the Midland Business Alliance on the My Pros Community Crowd Fund, which started, goodness now, I think it's been probably 4 years.
premium Polywood furniture that never needs painting to top-quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
On Wednesday, October 8th, we're sending someone to East Lansing for their matchup against UCLA. On Saturday, October 11th, first chance to go see Aiden Childs and Nick Marsh go take on another Big Ten school. Big Win Wednesday, every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Dan Campbell at the podium as we speak. We'll give you updates as he gives us updates. Let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Kyle, I've got good news, and I've got even more good news.
Ooh,
regarding
double
this
good
press
news.
conference.
Let's hear it.
Kirby Joseph, despite not practicing the last 2 days, he's going to be out there today. So all signs point to Kirby Joseph's going to be playing against his Bengals team on Sunday afternoon.
That's big.
All good there. The bigger news. Ali McNeil started practicing again this week. Practice window opened up. Dan Campbell said he's 50-50 whether or not he's going to play on Sunday. This is nuts. Yes.
Really?
And I would guess they lean more precautionary because they know they probably don't need him to shut down this Bengals team that cannot run the football. But that makes me think, like, I know we put out the reel, or I had the take yesterday, or maybe that was 2 days ago at this point. Hey, they're opening up the practice window. He's probably going to play after the bye. He might play next week versus Kansas City.
Oh, that'd be so huge.
If he's 50-50 right now, why would I not think he's going to play next Sunday night against Kansas City?
That's pretty awesome. God, I hope that happens.
That happened week 15. Like, is this just the new norm? 9 months to recover from an ACL?
Yeah, everybody just recovers extremely fast nowadays.
Dan Campbell said Aleem wanted to play, and they're just debating whether or not they want him out there. I would say don't risk it.
Probably not.
Like,
or maybe if he does,
point.
it's just a couple reps just to kind of get that in. But, they just opened up his practice window, so it's like he's got plenty of time to get back. So
This is nuts.
Yeah,
and if
nonetheless,
he can go
pretty
back
awesome.
out there for Kansas City, to have him, Reeder, and Tyleek out there, to have them against Philly, I think would be huge in terms of stopping the tush push. You got Roy Lopez as well. Like, this is a huge addition. It cannot be understated how big of an addition Aleem McNeil would be to this team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially with no DJ Reed.
A lot of injury stuff going on. Good thing the Lions are on the good side of it. Let's talk about some guys that aren't on the good side of it, like our good friends, the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy obviously never got put on IR, so it is up in the air if he could play. He is going to be out again this week, including essentially the entire Minnesota Vikings offensive line. Starting center Ryan Kelly's got a concussion. He's out. Their backup center, Michael Juergens, he's out. Their right tackle, Brian O'Neill, he's out. Their left guard, Donovan Jackson, any guesses what he is?
I'm going to guess out.
And then they're moving guard Blake Brandel, who has never played center, to center, and he talked about it that he's never played in a game that week. Luckily, they did get Christian Darrisaw back last week, who's one of the best tackles in all football, so that's big. But, man, this Vikings O-line in a tough spot against a pretty good pass rush in the Cleveland Browns.
John ended up taking the Vikings, didn't he? Does he know about all this?
He did, and no, for sure he doesn't. Why would he pick him if he did?
That's
we told him.
insane
Why
behavior.
would you pick on this Bengal or this London game, man? It's just always a weird game.
The Vikings, that offensive line banged up to that degree with Carson Wentz as their quarterback, has disaster written all over it. All over it. Dylan Gabriel is going to be the new hero of the Browns. They're going to think they have their guy.
Can't let Dylan Gabriel ball out. I have to start Dylan Gabriel in one of my super flex leagues this week because Lamar is hurt, and I have Michael Penix, who's my typical QB2 or my QB3 on a bye.
I'm going to guess you're not doing too well in this league based on those things.
No, my team's pretty good. My quarterbacks are Lamar and Daniel Jones, and then Penix is the third guy. But Lamar's hurt. Penix is on bye, so it's Daniel Jones and Dylan Gabriel this week.
Good luck, man.
Yeah,
good
see
luck.
How that goes. Okay, let's talk about the baseball going on this weekend and the time slots for Saturday's game. We talked about it earlier. Tigers-Mariners playing at 8:38. They're the fourth and final game on Saturday night.
It's kind of late.
It's on FS1 as well, just drawing the short stick, I guess, with college football on at night on Fox.
It's kind of late,
Every
man.
other team
not starting until 9?
Saturday night, dude.
I know, but
8:40?
This game's going to end past midnight, I would imagine.
Come on.
Is it not? Is the game not going to end past
Saturday
midnight?
night,
It's
dude.
fine. I'm just saying it's a late draw.
They're playing Seattle, though. It's out west. You know,
I know.
gotta help them out a little bit. Cubs-Brewers, though, is the first game. It's at 2. Yankees-Blue Jays is the second game. That's at 4. And Dodgers-Phillies, which is going to be such a fun series. I cannot wait for it. That's at 6:30. And guess who's pitching for the Dodgers?
Oh, Donnie?
Yes, Shohei Ohtani will be on the mound Saturday.
Must-see TV. Man, Saturday is just jam-packed with all the college football and all the baseball.
2 words. Shohei Ohtani, Christopher Sanchez, Dodgers-Phillies, must-see TV.
Seemed like a lot more than 2 words. 3 words?
Okay, 2 words. Shohei Ohtani and Christopher Sanchez. Hopefully you got that reference.
I got the reference.
Okay, let's talk about the rest of the injury news, though, in the NFL, because there is still a lot of them. Bucky Irving is expected to be out. We just found that out during the show. I thought we kind of figured that out a couple days ago, though. So if you have Bucky Irving in fantasy, another Tampa Bay Buccaneer is going to miss a game. So hopefully you have Rashad White, who will likely fill in for him. Lamar Jackson still yet to be ruled out, but it seems like he is likely going to be out. Terry McLaurin will not be playing for the Chargers for a back-to-back week, despite the Commanders returning Jaden Daniels this week. That's the main piece for them.
And thank God they paid that guy.
McLaurin.
Yeah, they're paying him to.
I mean, they had to pay him.
I know.
For them to pay him.
And he has not been healthy. That's
Right,
on him.
Right. And then finally, Chuba Hubbard, the running back for the Carolina Panthers, will also be out versus the Miami Dolphins. So that's the main injury report going on in the NFL. Hopefully that doesn't affect your fantasy lineups too much. Hey, we got a big UFC card this weekend too. We're talking about how crazy.
We do?
We're talking about how crazy everything is. UFC 320. Alex Pereira.
Alex Pereira's fighting this weekend too? How did I let this go by? We got to wait. We have a title fight?
There's 2 title fights.
Oh my God! Okay. Never mind. I'm not mad about the game being on late. I'll be up.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. The game will get over and it'll lead you right into the 2 title fights. Yeah, Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev, who is favored to win the light heavyweight fight there. He's minus 250. Perez plus 198. And then the other title fight, Merab is fighting. I'm always terrible about pronouncing his last name, but Merab is like a super fun guy to watch. So,
is this who Pereira lost to? Or did the title switch hands again? Because it says this is the second fight.
I believe this is, yes.
Okay. Wow. I thought Pereira was...
this is when he said he was like 40% when he fought him or whatever.
Oh, I hate when fighters do that.
Yeah.
He lost to... Yeah. So this is their rematch for the title. The UFC needs Pereira to get this done. He's
the underdog. He's like kind of a heavy underdog, too. Plus 198.
I will gladly take Pereira.
I will, too. I love Pereira, man. He's so fun to watch.
And I said last time he fought, I said as he was walking out, I don't like this. Because usually that guy would walk out and it was like, oh my God, he might kill whoever he's in the octagon with. It's always been the scariest entrance. He has those epic stare downs in the ring where he just looks like a caged animal. Last time he had the entrance and I was like, he just doesn't look right. He doesn't look as scary. And then sure enough, he lost. I want to see the horrifying version of this guy, the guy who looked like pound for pound the best fighter in the UFC. I want to see that guy back on Saturday night. Man, Saturday is, oh my God. Yeah, college football all weekend. We got playoff baseball and a Pereira fight. How did I not know there was a Pereira fight this weekend? I feel out of the loop. I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. All right, I got the ultimate parlay for you.
Pereira spread.
Pereira money line. Lions alt spread minus 19.5.
Oh my God.
Tigers game 1 money line versus Mariners. Just a quick plus 3,200.
What if we threw Michigan and Michigan State in there?
Oh, that's too far.
What about
Michigan State? It will be the team that will screw that over.
Yeah, I might take. Wait, say that again.
No, it's a stupid bet. It's
wait, but just say it again.
Well, let's talk about it in the break.
Fine.
Because it's a bad thing to advise people to do.
No.
Okay. I think that was all I had for the news. Let me double. Oh no, we do have a PGA update because obviously we had the Ryder Cup last week, and there was a lot of I don't want to call it controversy, but the Europeans were upset about the way that the American fans were treating them there. So the PGA of America president yesterday apologized, and he condemns the U.S. fans' behavior, and he reached out to a lot of the European golfers to apologize for the way that they were acting during the Ryder Cup.
Well, it was a little ridiculous.
This?
I mean, you can't throw drinks on golfers' wives. That is going too far. You can yell whatever you want at them. I think that's fun.
I think
that's
the
part of the
yelling's
Ryder
fun
Cup.
because exactly. Like it doesn't really happen very much.
You can't throw drinks at their wives. Come on.
Yeah, that's clearly too far. And I also think that like the stuff when Rory would hit, and as soon as he makes contact, you just hear the bunker. You just something like that. Like
that's
it's so funny. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, but that's it for the news.
All right, 989-837-6125. We've got 2 traditions to close out every single show. We'll hit those when we come back as our lock of the day. We'll guess Colin's open. I feel like I'm talking really fast. The coffee's finally kicking in. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland and making an impact around the world. Innovation that creates solutions for cleaner water, safer homes, and a more sustainable future. A company built on science, but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, nonprofits, because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow, solving with science, standing with the community. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll get to our 2 traditions when we come back here on 100.9 The Mid.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know, according to a recent study conducted by the AOA, the Optical Laboratories Association, and the Vision Council, nearly half of all glasses ordered online had either prescription errors or failed to meet minimum safety standards. Midland Eye Care offers a full-service optical department meeting all your eye care needs. So call your local Midland Eye Care and avoid incorrect prescriptions costing you time and money. Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and on East Washington and Freeland.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Into the end zone. The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
The Spartans look for their first Big Ten win of 2025. MSU heads to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. Kickoff Saturday at 4, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Tonight, Saginaw United unveils a new football stadium and celebrates homecoming. The Phoenix host Bay City Central, who won by a point in this matchup last season. United and BCC. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 tonight.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt. Mid-Michigan sports leader.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Lions ran up the scoreboard on Ben Johnson on purpose to rub it in. I think the Lions' defense is just scratching the surface on becoming a dominant top 10 unit. I think Bryce Underwood is a future Heisman winner, but not quite yet. And I think Tarek Skubal is less than a month away from becoming the best Tigers pitcher of the 21st century. Oh, and I think if you agree or disagree with anything I just said, you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, live from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Repair.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We've got two traditions to close out every single show. The first of those is our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the Day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I've kind of been teasing this throughout the course of the show. I think the Lions just destroy this Bengals team. I really wouldn't be shocked if they put up I don't even think it's crazy to say 60. I do think they put up 50 points. I think this is one of those games where they just flat out destroy an opponent. I'm talking about last year versus Jacksonville, last year versus Dallas, last year versus Tennessee. This is one of those games where they're just going to have no problem going up and down the field. So I'm taking the Lions over 30.5. That feels generous. You're actually getting pretty good value at it, too. What did we get it at? Minus 106 this morning?
104.
Minus 104. So essentially even odds for the Lions to put up 31 points. They're averaging 34, guys. They've destroyed their opponent the last few weeks. What makes you think they're not going to put up 30 against this Bengals team? I actually am shocked that it's only this much right now. It actually doesn't make sense.
Well, and what's the over-under for the game? You said it's what, 48? So that means they essentially think that the Bengals will score 17. Like they think this is a 31-17 game.
I think this is like a 48-10 game.
Right.
54-10. Like they're going to murder them. Taylor fade.
I'm obviously tailing. I mean, we've been talking about it all day, how I'm with you on I think the Lions blow out pretty big. This Bengals defense, combined with how bad their offense is, it should mean the Lions have the ball a ton. This, like you said, seems like one of those games that you want to, if you have any Detroit Lions in fantasy, you want to start them.
Yep.
Like it's one of those games. So
it's an everybody eats game.
It is.
Everybody's going to get.
He's got the crazy touchdown play.
Hey, Gibbs, Montgomery, who's playing in his hometown, Laporta, St. Brown, and J-Mo all to score. He's plus 10,500. You're out on that idea, even though you think they can put up 50.
I'm not out on I'm just like, I mean, I might just do it just because, honestly, because I think it is kind of funny.
Imagine.
But I'm not gonna like tell people to do it. You know.
You know the pain and agony we'll be going through in the fourth quarter when they're pulling the subs and we only need one more of those.
Yeah,
to hit.
Sione Vaki gets his first touchdown of his career.
The guy's not playing. He's never healthy, man. It's gonna be Brock Wright. 4 of those guys are gonna score a touchdown, and then Brock Wright's gonna be the last guy to score.
Sneaks in.
Yeah, and somehow we're gonna be like, oh, how did 4 of the 5 hit? But we may as well just
rushing touchdown hits.
Jared Goff receiving touchdown hits.
Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah, this is one of those games where you can make a lot of stupid bets in this game because a lot of stupid things could happen. It's one of those times. So I agree.
I just think if you want to take an over, just take an over.
Yeah.
Don't even think twice.
Like Lions
about it.
points, like you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate play. Like I don't know, I don't even want to say that, but yeah, this is my lock of the day because I'm kind of in shock that the Lions over/under total points is only at 30.5. So with that being said, I've got Lions. Final score prediction for me, I think they break a franchise record. I'll go 57-10. Lions.
Okay.
You?
I won't go that crazy. I think exactly what I said earlier is what's going to happen. 42-14. I think that's a safe spot to go. It's to all touchdowns. There's no field goals in there. But that's my score prediction.
All right.
Do you want me to give the people an update on the lock of the day?
Yeah, go for it.
You did hit a bet yesterday. I figured you'd want me to.
Go for it.
Apologize, by the way, for yesterday on the YouTube. Our internet crashed here, so we didn't get to finish out the lock of the day segment on YouTube. So, an update. You're 3-1 this week, Ben. Hit the Puka Nacua bet last night. You got up to a rough start in October, losing the first bet, but last night you hit that one, so you're just 0.05 units down in the month of October. Plenty fine, but you've won the week. You're over 2 units up on the week, so it's going to be a nice win and victory for you to win the week. You're 18.74 units down all time.
Progress, right? Just
Yes.
got to slowly chip away at the horrendous start we had. We're working. We're getting there. All right. Minus 104, over 30.5. That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
One more thing to take care of. That's guessing what the one and only Colin Cowherd's going to open with here in 9 minutes. He takes over 100.9 the Mitt's airwaves up here in the Great Lakes Bay region at noon. What's the first thing he's going to talk about? Whose turn is it to go first? What is the score, Kyle?
It's my turn to go first today, episode 88 of the show. Shout out to CeeDee Lamb.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
So the score is 18-17. You're in the lead. It's been an eventful last couple of days because I tied it up 2 days ago with the Yankees-Red Sox pick. You bounced back and chose the same thing yesterday, and it hit. 18-17 gave you the lead right back. So we've been getting some points lately. It feels like he just has to go Yankees-Red Sox again, right? Like it's the final eclipse of this 3-game wild card series. It feels like that's what he's going to do, but would me picking that be foolish? Because
it's
his
your
boy,
turn to go first.
It's a Mac Jones lead today, baby. Mac Jones in the perfect situation under Kyle Shanahan. These quarterbacks, they come in and do this. No receivers, it doesn't matter because Sean McVay screws him over with the bad play call. Mac Jones, 49ers, that's the lead today.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should guess. You're going to get a point. You're
and I still think there's a little Shadur Sanders somewhere in play too.
No, I think that ship has sailed. I think you got a point. I think you can write yourself in to tie this thing up. There's actually no way he doesn't lead with anything else.
I mean, he led with Yankees Red Sox the last 2 days, and yesterday was the deciding game.
You know, it's a lock that you even this thing up. I'm not even going to knock on wood. You know.
What are you talking about?
You're totally going to even this thing up.
Why
dude.
are you doing this? What is this bit?
There's no bit. You're just going to get a point here. Congratulations. It's 17-17.
It's 18-17. So
it's going to be 18-18 then.
Okay.
Jokes aside, yeah, I guess I'll go Yankees Red Sox. There's not really another ploy to go, so that's the direction I will go.
See, I thought this was all a bit for you to be like, just kidding, it's going to be this, and then you had something ready to go.
No, I'm just trying to jinx you as much as I possibly can.
Oh, I see. That's fair.
I do think that's what it is. There's no way, like, that's his favorite thing to talk about. Quarterback situations are more important than the talent of the quarterback and the prospect.
And I bet he probably does a little bit of, like, Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, like, what's going to happen there.
Yes.
That's for sure what's happening.
This is like his ideal open. He gets to talk about Mac Jones revitalizing his career under Kyle Shanahan, the same way that Sam Darnold did under KOC, the same way that I guess Stafford didn't really do it with. Well, I mean, even Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield was with the Rams, and then he obviously went to the Bucs and got his career kick-started again. This is the ideal situation for Colin Cowherd to open up with a Mac Jones open and also bring up the fact that they paid Brock Purdy, and it looks stupid. It looks like a dumb contract extension now in the Big 2-5 that they made Brock Purdy one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. It's outrageous.
In the Big 2025, yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I think you're going to get a point. I'd be pretty shocked if he opened up with baseball
sick,
3
man.
straight days.
Monday morning, tied up at 18. Be big.
And then it'd be my turn to pick first.
Mondays are kind of tough, though.
They are.
Like, unless the Sunday night game is for sure the answer, yeah, then Mondays are tough because there's too much to pick from.
Sunday night, Bills, Patriots. I don't know. Something crazy would have to happen.
Like me going Tuesday's a lock because it's just Chiefs Jags. Whatever happens in Chiefs Jags
seems unfair.
Is the answer, you know.
But it alternates because
right.
I'll get 3 picks next week.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's,
this will just go on forever. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Maybe someday. No, what's gonna happen when this gets to triple digits in here? You know, then it's like. Hey, we're coming up on episode 100 of the Ben Bosscher Show, by the way.
Really?
Like I said, today's episode 88. So, what would that be?
12 more shows?
The Tuesday of 2 weeks from now?
Club's going up.
Okay.
On a Tuesday.
Let's get AJ Hinch in here, huh?
Why?
Because he was celebrating in the game. I got him in on the screen, enjoying the end of the show with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's us three.
Hello, AJ Hinch. How's it going?
You know, we did a lot of AJ Hinch talk yesterday.
Yeah, because he was an idiot on.
Okay.
He took Riley Green out of the game. It's ridiculous.
Can we celebrate today?
Yes, we can.
Or wait, are we still anti-celebrating?
I'm not anti-celebrating. I just wanted to bring up the question of why is it like just become the norm that you win a wild card series and everyone pops champagne bottles? That doesn't happen in any other sport. You win the first round of the playoffs and people celebrate and go crazy. It's just like kind of weird to me.
It's just kind of how it works. All right, bye, AJ Hinch.
See ya. All right, appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Appreciate everyone who tuned in this week. We are live on YouTube and Facebook every day. Hit the like and subscribe button there if you haven't already. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Just search Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. On TikTok, it's actually The Ben Bosscher Show. So go ahead and follow us there. Great video content. We'll see you guys on Monday talking about a Lions and Tigers victory.
The Ben Bosscher